Chapter 1021 Emperor Wu appears, 2. 1021 Emperor Wu appears, 2. This way, he could even directly teleport away from the Heavenly Sword ruins. The risk of being intercepted would be even smaller. I'll give it my all. At this moment, many weak beast tamers had complicated feelings. He looked at the Heavenly Sword ruins with a burning gaze. Seeing such an opportunity in front of him, even if the situation of the Heavenly Sword Nation was in danger, he still chose to rush into the Heavenly Sword ruins first. Although the chances of helping the Yun race obtain the divine level meteor iron were minimal, the ruins were also a trial inheritance land. It was always beneficial to enter and stay a little longer. Before the large factions could move, many beast tamers of small factions couldn't resist the temptation and entered the ruins through the Sword World one after another. The first level of the Sword Tower lit up. However, most people were not qualified to enter the Heavenly Sword ruins to begin with. In less than a minute after entering this trial ruin, they were defeated in the first level and ejected from the ruins. The faces of the beast tamers who were ejected turned pale, as if they had experienced a nightmare and lost their vitality. Their expressions were very ugly. King, seeing this scene, the black giant ape was silent. Was this the standard of the beast tamers in this country? Although they had placed more hope on the few legend beast tamers who took out the divine iron, these low-level beast tamers were too lousy. There were a total of 9 levels in the Heavenly Sword ruins. They couldn't even pass the first level? Now, the reason why they let these low-level beast tamers give it a try was also because the Yun clan hoped to see if they could choose a few good seedlings to brainwash and modify. After all, the Yun clan was weak now and urgently needed to replenish new blood. Trafficking people from such a super faction in seclusion and secretly developing was the first step for the Yun race to make a comeback. If the divine iron was something they wanted, they also wanted humans and transcendent lives with talent and potential. The Heavenly Sword ruins could only withstand the trial of lives below the totem level. There were a total of 9 levels. The current highest record was passing the 8th level. However, only by passing the 9th level could one obtain divine iron. All beast tamers of the demon sect, listen up. At this point, on the demon sect side, the legend sect master, Mo Ling, looked in the direction of the Silent Guardian's residence and took a deep breath. You guys should also enter the Heavenly Sword ruins. This is a rare opportunity. You should try my best to increase your strength. The sect master of the demon sect immediately guessed part of the Yun clan's thoughts when he saw that not only did the Yun clan let legends like them prepare, but they also let a bunch of trash try the ruins trial. Even if the Yun clan didn't successfully obtain the divine iron in the end, as long as someone displayed enough talent value, they should still have a chance to live. At the moment, this Heavenly Sword ruins was the place to show its value. In order to prevent the demon sect from being completely destroyed, she immediately gave the order to let the disciples of the demon sect enter the ruins and try their best to clear the levels to obtain strength. At most, she would change a demigod to follow. It was better than dying. She didn't believe that the other party could be ruthless and destroy a bunch of humans who had reached the legend level and were willing to rely on Yunan. However, not everyone had the same awareness as Sect Master Mo Ling. Many people's expressions were not very good. For example, Chen Luo looked like he had lost his parents. How can I still be in the mood to carry out the trial inheritance now? The Heavenly Sword Nation is about to fall. Eh, Brother Lin, you're not trembling anymore? Chen Luo saw Shiyu recover from his trembling fear and said, "Let's go." Shiyu glanced at the devastated Chen Luo beside him and walked towards the sword tower with a smile. This smile stunned Chen Luo. "You're still smiling? Are you crazy?" No one cared about a little guy like Shiyu. Too many beast tamers like him had entered the ruins. Buzz! The spatial ripples trembled slightly, and Shiyu disappeared. The Heavenly Sword ruins had a total of 9 levels. Each level had a sword puppet projection protecting it. The sword puppet projection mastered a special super sword intent. It could be said that every sword puppet was the power projection of the late Heavenly Sword demigod, carrying the sword Dao EXP of the Heavenly Sword demigod. Fighting them, be it victory or defeat, was the moment closest to the Sword Dao EXP of the Heavenly Sword Demigod. Many pets with good talent comprehended a new Sword Dao resistance in the battle with the sword puppet. However, the trial had many benefits, but the difficulty was also very high. Although the energy level of every sword puppet would be adjusted to the standard level of the challenger's realm, their skill proficiency became more and more terrifying as the number of levels increased. The first level sword puppet had mastered expert level super sword intent. The second level was perfect level, and the sixth level had even reached transcendent level. If the challenger was a monarch level pet and walked to the sixth level, it would face an enemy who had mastered transcendent proficiency super sword intent. Even if this enemy only had monarch level attributes and no other skills, and even had to fight many alone, just a transcendent super sword intent was not so easy to defeat. It was precisely because of this terrifying difficulty that no one had been able to clear the Heavenly Sword ruins until now. The Divine Iron had also been sealed for 1,000 years. At this moment, as Shi Yu entered the Heavenly Sword ruins, he had already arrived at an endless sword world. He didn't see anyone else. They had probably been teleported to different spaces. In this red world that was like a sword tomb with many sword projections buried, Shi Yu soon saw a sword puppet slowly walking towards him. Its image was like a terracotta soldier. It held a stone sword and was filled with sharp sword intent. Chapter 1022, 1022 Emperor Wu appears, 3. 1022 Emperor Wu appears, 3. It wasn't the only one. Even the surrounding buried sword shadows were wrapped in strong sword intent. It was indeed a holy land of swords. Sword-type pets fought and trained here. It was difficult for their growth speed to not be fast. A sword puppet with only 50 million energy points? At that moment, Shi Yu stood in the distance and could sense its power fluctuations. It had already reached the Overlord level standard, about 50 million energy points. Shi Yu, who was wearing a black tight battlesuit and a short grey shirt, a core disciple uniform of the demon sect, grinned. Interesting. Looks like the Heavenly Sword Ruins has judged my first level. Is it the first level opponent prepared for me according to the legend standard? An Overlord level sword puppet that has mastered expert level super sword intent. As Shi Yu muttered, a golden light suddenly appeared on the sword puppet. To put it bluntly, sword intent was a special deterrent similar to Dragon Might and Phoenix Might. A sharp sword intent erupted from the sword puppet and its arms, instantly turning into a golden hurricane that attacked Shi Yu. Expert level super metal sword intent. The gust's sharp aura that was like a rain directly turned into a shocking killing weapon, stimulating the spirit and soul. However, such an attack was too weak for Shi Yu. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that the power of the ruin suppressed the other power systems apart from sword-type skills, Shi Yu could have insta-killed it with his psychic power. At this moment, the feeling this ruin gave Shi Yu was that if he wanted to forcefully use other power systems, he would immediately be rejected by the ruined space. Almost kicked out of the space. In the Heavenly Sword ruins, only sword-type skills could be used. Forget it. Kai Tong, I'll leave it to you. Test my improvement during this period of time through this ruin. Am I? Millimeter. As Shi Yu finished speaking, a huge black summoning array appeared in front of him. Flames rose in the sky. In the flames, a human figure appeared. She had a beautiful face and was wearing silver armor. She had red hair and red eyes that draped over her shoulders. Her phantom body that looked like a soul body was wrapped in Phoenix spiritual aura that was like the flames of the sun. Her aura was peerless. Its eyes were also filled with sharp sword intent. Name, Kai Tong, Sword Maiden Form. Race Skill. Super, Interlocking Sword, Perfect Plus, Sun Flame, A Perfect Plus, Spirit Release, Perfect Plus, Flame Spirit Sword Body, Perfect Plus, Myriad Sword Convergence, Perfect Plus, Phoenix Sword Intent, Perfect Plus, Star Fire Sword Formation, Perfect Plus, Curse Flame, Air Perfect Plus. Teaching Skill. Advanced, Scapegoat, Transcendent Plus. Super, Undead Revival, Perfect Plus, Soul Incarnation, Transcendent. Buzz. for sword projections appeared around Kai Tong. In one, the sword was silver-white, containing purple light that reflected the profundity of space. In one, the sword was bent and red light lingered around the entire sword body. In one, the darkness and blue-green death aura on the sword intertwined, containing nirvanic death fluctuations. The last one was the most ordinary at the moment. However, red patterns lingered on the sword body, emitting the simplest sword edge. These four sword clones were all condensed by Kai Tong through its soul incarnation and cultivated through various resources. 3 of them had already begun to show their power. Only the 4th immortal slaying sword that represented sharpness was still lacking a piece of metal divine iron. At this moment, facing the enemy who had mastered the sharp metal sword intent, Kai Tong decisively pulled out the immortal slaying sword clone that represented sharpness. Then, the other 3 sword clones dimmed. Cracks appeared on the ground where Kai Tong was, and the space where it was instantly collapsed. Its figure flashed, and as its red hair fluttered, the arms in its hand had already collided with the sword puppet. Clang! The sword in Kai Tong's hand and the sword in the sword puppet's hand were filled with a sharp metal edge. I'll accept your sword intent. At this moment, Kai Tong was like a talented sword Dao genius. In just a round of collision, all the sword Dao EXP of the sword puppet that had mastered the sharp metal sword intent seemed to be unable to hide from it. This was a top-notch sword Dao talent brought about by the multiple nurturing of the max-level sword Dao resistance, sword heart, and world tree fruit. Bang! The sharpness of the sword in Kai Tong's hand became stronger and stronger. In a breath, the sword in the sword puppet's hand was smoothly divided into 2, and the sword puppet's entire body was also divided into 2. The golden sword light was extremely sharp. Kai Tong saw the figure of the enemy in front of it disappear. It gently swung its sword, and the tip of the sword touched the ground as it looked at the surrounding sword projections. Forget about this. It hasn't improved you much. Even the opponent just now is a little too weak. Shiyu slowly walked over and patted her shoulder, indicating for her to follow. Kai Tong. Kai Tong immediately nodded and jogged beside Shiyu to head to the 2nd level with him. On the 2nd level, it was a sword puppet with an energy value of 50 million and had mastered the perfect super heavenly thunder sword intent. On the 3rd level, it was a sword puppet with 50 million energy points and had mastered the super perfect super storm sword intent. The opponent was getting stronger and stronger, but without a doubt, it was killed by Kai Tong in one hit again. They were still used by Kai Tong to train the sharpness sword in its hands. The sharpness of lightning and the sharpness of storms. Kai Tong was like a sword master. It could accept all rivers in the sea, and any EXP could be converted for its own use. 4th level, 5th level. Kai Tong didn't even use its active skill. It only relied on a sword clone and the enhancement of the flame spirit sword body to defeat these guardian sword puppets like cutting melons. Chapter 1023, 1023 Emperor Wu appears, 4. 1023 Emperor Wu appears, 4. Only when they reached the 6th level did Shiyu and Kai Tong raise their spirits slightly. This was because although the guardian of this level only had 50 million energy points, he had mastered the transcendent super sword intent. His skill proficiency was so high that it had even exceeded Shiyu's main force. After all, even 11 and Kai Tong had yet to master a transcendent active attack skill. However, this level was still not very difficult for Shiyu and the others. After all, the opponent's energy level was half as low as Kai Tong's, and there was only one skill. Kai Tong's sword clone alone might make it hard, but when Kai Tong used 2 or more super top-notch sword skills to form the combination profundity, the situation instantly reversed. It had to be said that Kai Tong's skills were too strong. Moreover, they were all skills that could be combined. Sun Flame and Curse Flame were both top-notch super skills. When their 2 intertwined swords formed an extremely terrifying power, together with the sword clone, it was enough to resist the 6th level. On this foundation, Kai Tong could also wrap the Phoenix Sword intent and use the Flame Spirit Sword body to unleash a stronger and more dazzling attack. Even this was not Kai Tong's limit. After all, it could still use Myriad Sword Convergence to increase its battle power to the limit. In fact, after reaching his limit, it could even possess Shi Yu and exceed his limit. Did he think this was the limit? After all, Kai Tong's four sword clones were all created by transcendent super skills. They were all very powerful. When the four swords fused, they were invincible. It was as if the totem sword god had descended. The most terrifying thing was that the price of such an eruption could even be endured by the scapegoat of undead revival. It was not easy for a trial set up by a demigod to stump Shi Yu and the others with such shocking battle potential. Divine Iron, my divine iron. When Shi Yu was challenging the level, there was already a huge commotion in the outside world. At the moment, the legend experts who the Yun race had high hopes for didn't directly enter the ruins. Instead, they were detained by Yunnan and the others to force them to adapt to new arms and stimulate their potential. Holding the new arms, the expressions of the legend experts were ugly. Although the radiation power inside could greatly increase their state, the price was irreversible damage. It consumed life potential. Old man, you reached the 8th level previously, right? With this sword, are you confident of passing the 8th or even the 9th level? The black giant ape asked him. This, looking at the demonic aura flowing to his arm, the spokesperson of the sword ghost god was already completely silent. At the cost of my life, there might be hope for the 8th level, but the 9th level? Even if you can't, you have to. In short, the fate of the Heavenly Sword Nation is in your hands, the black giant ape said coldly. Just as it finished speaking, a change occurred in the sword tower. Finally, someone passed the 2nd level. Because most of the beast tamers who had just entered couldn't even pass the 2nd level. They even lost in the 1st level. The guardian sword puppet in the 2nd level had mastered the perfect super sword intent. Unless a true legend beast tamer went in to challenge, even if it was a level 6 beast tamer, there was a high chance of failure. Everyone looked at the sword pagoda of the Heavenly Sword ruins. With a look. The light on the 3rd level lit up right on the heels of that. The beast tamers of the Heavenly Sword Nation were stunned. Right on the heels of that, the 4th level lit up. The 5th level lit up. The 6th level. In a short period of time, before anyone could pass the 2nd level, the light of the sword tower actually directly rose to the 7th level. Every level stopped for almost a minute, really stunning the people outside. What's going on? Who's challenging the level? The black giant ape looked at the white-haired old man and the other legends of the Heavenly Sword Nation who were adapting to the meteorite sword and immediately asked. That shouldn't be the case. Weren't the high-end battle power of the Heavenly Sword Nation all here? To be able to grow to this level, their talent potential was undoubtedly the strongest in the Heavenly Sword Nation. At the moment, the high-level records of the Heavenly Sword ruins were all in their hands. This group of people had yet to enter, so what was the situation with the Heavenly Sword ruins now? Oh? At this moment, seeing a beast tamer from the Heavenly Sword Nation climb to the 7th level in just a few minutes, even Yunnan's gaze flickered slightly. However, before they could be too surprised, the light on the 8th level flashed. This person killed his way to the 8th level in less than 10 minutes. For thousands of years, the highest record of the Heavenly Sword Nation was only passing the 8th level and reaching the 9th level. Now, the most talented beast tamer in the Heavenly Sword Nation, the white-haired legend cultivated by the sword ghost god as the spokesperson, had only reached the 8th level. And now, not only did this mysterious beast tamer instantly reach the level of the white-haired old man, but he was also only a step away from the highest record. At this moment, the people of the Heavenly Sword Nation were stunned. How is this possible? Did a legend go in? The white-haired old man holding the meteorite sword looked in the direction of the Heavenly Sword ruins in shock. If there was no legend level on the 8th level, it was definitely impossible to reach this level. After all, no matter how talented a monarch-level pet was, it was difficult for it to defeat an enemy who had mastered transcendent proficiency super sword intent. 10 minutes, 8th level? The sect masters of the demon sect, the sword sect, and their respective legend junior sect masters also looked at the changes in the Heavenly Sword ruins in disbelief. Chapter 1024, 1024 Emperor Wu appears, 5. 1024 Emperor Wu appears, 5. If they remembered correctly, only small figures from the various large factions had entered during this period of time. The legends who came to the Holy Sword Mountain were clearly at the scene. The number of legends in the Heavenly Sword Ancient Nation could be counted on 2 hands. Interesting. At this moment, although it didn't know what was going on, the black giant ape smiled. Your Majesty! Congratulations! Yes. Yunnan nodded and looked at the Heavenly Sword ruins. This was the first time he spoke, and his voice shocked the hearts of the lives in the Heavenly Sword Nation. If he can pass the 8th level, we can give him a chance to become a member of the Yun race. If he can pass the 9th level and take out the Divine Iron. As the outside world was stunned by the changes in the Heavenly Sword ruins, inside, Shiyu was fighting the sword puppet on the 8th level. If the sword puppet on the 6th level had mastered Transcendent Super Sword Intent, then, according to Shiyu's judgment, the sword puppet on the 7th level should increase its strength 10 to 20 times on this basis. As for the sword puppet on the 8th level, it might have already reached super skill proficiency above Transcendent plus 50. However, at the moment, Kai Tong could still steadily suppress the other party with the advantage of having more skills and high energy. Boom! The flame spirit sword body of the myriad sword convergence. With the sword of death in hand, it formed an interlocking sword with the sun flame and the curse flame, wrapped in the phoenix sword intent. The super profundity formed by the combination of these 7 top-notch super skills was not much inferior to the power of the transcendent proficiency super sword intent. In the ruins, under the light, the sword puppet that had mastered the Nirvana sword intent on the 8th level was killed again. Kai Tong calmly digested the sword Dao EXP from the battle with it. At the same time, Shiyu didn't breathe much. He headed straight for the 9th and final level. It was much smoother than he imagined. Shiyu felt that as long as the sword puppet on the 9th level didn't master a quasi-divine skill, he might be able to clear the level without using his mind domain. As long as he sacrificed 2 scapegoats and possessed himself to erupt with the strongest attack, he should be able to clear it. This way, it would save him the trouble of consuming too much strength and not having enough strength to deal with Yunnan later. At this moment, as Shiyu ascended to the 9th level, the outside world was already completely stunned. Due to Shiyu's ridiculous speed, after the beast tamers in the tower were eliminated, the black giant ape didn't even let the newbies in. At this moment, it had already become everyone staring at Shiyu challenging the level alone. Who exactly is it? The famous beast tamers of the Heavenly Sword Nation looked at the Heavenly Sword ruins in confusion. Only a young man named Chen Luo looked for Brother Lin in confusion. At this point, even Yunnan was slightly excited. Not bad. Very good. It originally didn't have much hope of taking away the Divine Iron normally. It only wanted to give it a try, but it didn't expect that there was really a beast tamer who had the chance to take away the Divine Iron normally. If it could swallow this Divine Iron, not only could its strength recover, but it might even improve. No matter who it was, it had to reward this guy well. Everyone held their breaths and watched the changes in the Heavenly Sword ruins. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Finally. Buzz! A miracle that had never been achieved since the establishment of the Heavenly Sword ruins appeared in the eyes of all the beast tamers in the Heavenly Sword Nation in an extremely ridiculous manner on this incomparably ridiculous day. Looking at the lit 9th level of the Heavenly Sword ruined sword tower, the beast tamers were completely stunned. They felt that it was extremely strange. They were very confused. It really passed? The 9th level? Who exactly was it? The Heavenly Sword Demigod reborn? The white-haired old man was extremely confused. Yunnan and the Black Ape's moods were also very subtle. That was it? That was it. It was much easier than they imagined. Divine Iron, my Divine Iron. At this moment, Yunnan finally couldn't suppress the excitement in its heart. It waited for the person inside to appear. It loved this person to death. It wanted to confer the position of a Yun race general to the other party. At the same time, Shiyu, who had red hair and burning eyes, held the sword spirit and calmly looked at the puppet that had turned into ashes in front of him. If the heavens didn't give birth to Kai Tong's sword Dao, it would be a long night. After Kai Tong exited the possession state, it said smugly. He. The 9th level wasn't as difficult as he imagined, but in order to gain more Sword Dao EXP, he and Kai Tong didn't fight so hard from the start. Instead, they tried their best to deal with the other party and fought for a full 10 minutes. At that moment, as the Guardian Sword puppet on the 9th level was defeated, the entire Heavenly Sword ruins trembled slightly. Shi Yu and Kai Tong's hearts also trembled. No accidents happened. As they cleared the level, a spatial ripple appeared. Right on the heels of that, a silver metal the size of a football appeared with a dazzling light. The sharp and dazzling silver light almost blinded Shi Yu. The powerful energy fluctuations on it really made Shi Yu excited. Divine-level meteor iron from outer space. It's you. With this, he could create Kai Tong's immortal slaying sword clone. At that time, the 4 clones would all be in place. They could fuse the 4 swords into one and use their main bodies as the master to complete the evolution. For this moment, Shi Yu had been looking forward to it in this godforsaken totem ancient country for a long time. To get out while the going's good strategy. Buggy, try your best to block the spatial fluctuations. A little green dragon swam in Shi Yu's sleeve. Chapter 1025, 1025 Emperor Wu appears, 6. 1025 Emperor Wu appears, 6. At this moment, seeing the divine iron, Shi Yu didn't say a word and directly put it back into the ruined space. Then, right on the heels of that, he activated the ruin's water drop in his hand and tried to escape. Buzz! Blue spatial fluctuations immediately enveloped Shi Yu. In the outside world were Yunan's excited heart and trembling hands. It stared at the Heavenly Sword ruins and had already sensed the teleportation fluctuations inside. However, what made Yunan's pupils instantly solemn and serious was that this spatial teleportation fluctuation was not teleporting here. Instead, it seemed to want to leave the Heavenly Sword Nation and teleport to an extremely far distance. Bastard! At this moment, Yunan's power almost erupted with a bang. The terrifying demigod power instantly distorted space and time. It roared, shocking the entire Heavenly Sword ancient nation, making all living beings instantly extremely afraid. On the Sword God Mountain, including the Black Ape Totem, a group of legends was still waiting for the beast tamer who had passed the 9th level to come out. They didn't understand why Yunan was so angry at this moment. Boom! Yunan's figure was completely revealed. Its huge body shook the sky and earth. As it appeared, with a boom, the entire Heavenly Sword ruins was directly shattered by Yunan's space instantly collapsed, an extremely sharp spatial turbulence and sword-intense storm erupted unscrupulously. Countless sword projections were swept into the spatial turbulence and everything was destroyed in nothingness. Your Majesty! The Black Ape Totem instantly roared, not understanding why Yunan suddenly did this. Why did he directly destroy the Heavenly Sword ruins? But soon they discovered the crack inside the Heavenly Sword ruins and the abnormality in the depths of space. A muscular man in a panda short-sleeved shirt floated in the air, his entire body surrounded by weak blue fluctuations. This man's expression was indifferent and domineering, he was very panicked. He looked at the mountains and looked at Yunan in front of him. He knew that it wasn't that easy to slip away directly. Yunan destroying the Heavenly Sword ruins directly disturbed the spatial fluctuations and interfered with the teleportation speed of the Blue Sea ruins. In fact, if it weren't for Buggy's protection, he would have almost been swept into the void. In short, before the coordinates were corrected, he couldn't let Yunan continue to interfere. Who is it? At this moment, when they saw Shi Yu, all the beast tamers of the Heavenly Sword Nation were stunned. They didn't know this person at all. They didn't know when he entered. For his own bad taste, the moment Shi Yu was intercepted, he directly took off the Demon Sect's disciple uniform, revealing the panda battle suit. At the same time, he used his body control to change his appearance into the appearance of Emperor Wu. He looked down at Yunan. As expected, when they saw the pattern of Shi Yu's clothes and Shi Yu's face, Yunan and the Black Ape's pupils instantly constricted. They were stunned for a moment. WQNMD. Wu Dong. Impossible, it's impossible for you to still be alive. Yunnan was shocked. Its shock and anger directly caused the sword god mountain to tremble, and the color of the sky changed. Not only did it revive, but Emperor Wu also F*King revived? Looking at the Emperor Wu who appeared, Yunnan panicked. This panic provided Shiyu with time. The spatial fluctuations around Shiyu became more and more stable. Seeing this, Yunnan was shocked. No, you're not him. Soon, Yunnan recovered from its shock and anger. This person was not Emperor Wu. After understanding that it had been tricked by the person in front of it and its goal was to stall for time, it immediately said angrily, "Who exactly are you? Hand over the divine iron." In its anger, its body changed at the same time in the attack. The black metal prism all over its body flowed and turned into a huge beastman form standing on 2 feet. It stretched out a huge palm with 3 claws and pinched Shiyu. An earth-shattering divine might also enveloped over with this pinch. Boom! The spatial tide erupted in chaos again. Dong! A colorless mist wrapped around Yunnan's entire body, and the sound of laws that resounded through the world erupted. Looking at this ordinary squeeze, Shiyu's blood boiled. He felt a huge threat, a crisis from life and death. This feeling was something he had never experienced before. 11. Buggy, Baby Ginseng, Susu, Kai Tong, and Ling were clearly all ready to fight, but at this moment, Yunnan's attack still directly activated the Dragon God protection given by the Dragon God. No, even if everyone erupts with all their might together, they will only be able to resist for a period of time. As time passes, they won't be his match. Shiyu's heart skipped a beat. He immediately analyzed the difference in battle power between the two parties through Ling. The eruption and normal state were still incomparable. At the moment, he had yet to accumulate a killer move that was enough to kill demigods. However, as the blue light flashed and a drop of water was taken out, it flew towards Yunnan. With it blocking in front, the teleportation of the Blue Sea ruins was completely stable. Teleportation successful! Before leaving, Shiyu laughed out loud, stunning everyone. I'm indeed not Emperor Wu. However, like Emperor Wu, I'm the one who will kill you. Goodbye, Yunnan. Next time, I'll definitely kill you. Remember my name, Dong Huang Shiyu. If you have the ability, come to Dong Huang to find me. As soon as Shiyu's name appeared, the beast tamers of the entire Heavenly Sword Nation were shocked. They kept feeling that they had heard of this name before. At the same time, Yunnan and the Black Ape Totem were also shocked. You Shiyu! Buzz! Similarly, the sound of laws spread. A drop of water flew out of Shiyu's body and floated in the sky. Under the lingering wind, it turned into a human figure and blocked Yunnan's attack, protecting Shiyu behind. This figure had fair skin and dazzling white hair that naturally draped down, like a sparkling sea waterfall under the light. Her expression was emotionless, like a high and mighty god looking down on all living beings. In the face of Yunnan's attack, she also raised her palm, as if an ocean had swept up. Get lost! Seeing this drop of water, Yunnan was shocked. He sensed the power of a demigod's attack from it. However, just this was not enough to stop it. Boom! The tsunami-like water wall collided with Yunnan's attack. It only lasted for less than 10 seconds before instantly shattering and rising into nothingness. Seeing this, the Dragoness frowned slightly as if she had a spirit. She looked at the huge palm attacking and said, "The next time we meet, I'll definitely kill you." Splash! The water disappeared. However, at this moment, Shiyu was nowhere to be seen. Yunnan, who wanted to stop Shiyu, fell silent on the spot. Yunnan, who was provoked one after another, helplessly watered the rain in midair. Then, it roared angrily. Woo 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 woo. Chapter 1026, 1026 Evolution of the Kai Tong God. 1026 Evolution of the Kai Tong God. Dong Huang South Sea. In the dark deep sea, a water cube-shaped ruin's mystic realm welcomed the first light in the long silence. Yunnan seems to be very afraid of Emperor Wu. They're all scared silly. Sigh, look at how scared the child is. Shiyu shook his head and smiled. Exciting. With the divine iron in hand, he would take off. He would arrange for Kai Tong to evolve no. He had to report to President Lin first. Shiyu was stunned and looked up. Right on the heels of that, his figure appeared on the shining sea surface from the deep sea bottom. Because they were close to Dong Huang, the communication tool immediately had a signal. At the moment, Shiyu's communication tool was hurriedly calling out to President Lin. This was because the moment he was about to leave through teleportation, Shiyu also teleported the edited encounter footage back to Dong Huang through the Intelligence Bureau Index. In that situation, even if Yunnan sensed it, it was useless. Now that President Lin was in such a hurry, he probably wanted to ask about his situation. After all, his genius had encountered the king of ancient totems on a trip. Who could withstand the stimulation? After the world tournament ended, Shiyu's name would definitely have long entered the ears of the Yun clan. It was definitely a must-kill target of the Yun race. Shiyu could imagine Yunnan's shock when he heard his name. President Lin. Shiyu called back. Old Lin's unstable voice immediately came from the other side. Shiyu, where are you now? Are you all right? It's all right. I just used a blue sea ruins in the South Sea as a springboard to escape. It's good that you're fine. It's ridiculous. Yunnan actually appeared in the Heavenly Sword Nation. I really don't know if I should say that you're unlucky or unlucky. Is that Yunnan really that strong? President Lin said. In Shiyu's message, he told Dong Huang about Yunnan's traces and the fact that it had killed the Heavenly Sword demigod. At the same time, it reminded Dong Huang not to act rashly. Its main goal was to track and lock onto the traces of Yunnan first, not to start a war directly. Well, it has already recovered and has demigod-level battle power. Moreover, it gives me a very special feeling. The combination of the space race and the mythical race allows it to have strength that far exceeds ordinary demigods, Shiyu said. Some biological races, even if they didn't master the power of the natural order, didn't mean that they were weak. For example, Shiyu's green dragon Buggy was a god of faith in the starry sky. In the eyes of those gods, although it had yet to master the power of laws, it was not necessarily inferior to a race that had mastered quasi-divine skills. This Yunnan was similar. Even excluding the power of laws it mastered, it also had powerful starry sky methods similar to the green dragon, vaguely giving Shiyu a huge threat. Moreover, the law divine skill it mastered shouldn't be weak. It was the prototype of a high-level law, mainly the power of darkness. Shiyu subsequently understood that the power of laws was divided into normal, advanced, and top. For example, a single wind law and frost law were normal laws. A hybrid law like Ling's Wind of Luck was a high-level law. As for a hybrid law divine skill formed by opposing attributes like the yin-yang millstone, it was clearly a top-notch law. Of course, be it 11, Ling, or Yunnan, they had yet to master the true laws. Their quasi-divine skills were still in the prototype of laws. If they wanted to transform into real laws, they still had to endure training. Moreover, the higher the level and quality of the prototype of the law, the more difficult it was to transform into a real divine skill and increase proficiency. The difficulty of increasing the yin-yang millstone was several times that of the wind blessing. This was also reflected in the risk hint of adding points. When these quasi-divine skills were raised to perfect proficiency, they could be upgraded to real divine skills. And the increase in high-level and top-notch laws was so difficult. It meant that there were great benefits. When they transformed into real law divine skills, the racial stats of transcendent life forms would also be stronger. For example, Ling's race level was not at the bottom of the mythical race. Instead, it would be a high-level mythical race that would complete a new life evolution because of the transformation of a divine skill. As for 11, it was a top-notch mythical race. With one divine skill, it was comparable to other gods having several normal divine skills. This was also why ancient god Golden Bull and the others were so shocked to see 11 master top-notch laws. Low-level divine-level races had an ordinary law divine skill. A middle-level divine-level race had 2 normal law divine skills. High-level divine-level races had 3 normal law divine skills or a high-level law divine skill. A top-notch divine-level race had for normal law divine skills, 2 high-level divine skills, or a top-notch law divine skill. And before the divine skill took shape and was still in the quasi-divine skill stage, no matter the quality of the power of laws contained in this divine skill, it couldn't be considered a complete law. It could only be at the bottom of the mythical race. After all, no matter how high the quality potential of a quasi-divine skill was, it was inferior to the weakest divine skill. Only by truly becoming a divine skill could one be considered to have mastered laws and be considered divine level. Of course, after reaching the divine level, if one wanted to increase their battle strength, it mainly depended on the proficiency of the divine skill, not the quality of the divine skill. Moreover, there were also some top-notch laws that were not suitable for battle, such as spatial travel. But it was undeniable that at this stage, the quality of quasi-divine skills largely determined the battle power of demigods. Chapter 1027, 1027 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 2. 1027 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 2. Yunnan had a high-level quasi-divine skill in its palm, plus it was a cosmic life form. It could be said that its life level was roughly equivalent to Buggy that had evolved again. It was very strong and could be considered a combination of a cosmic life form and a divine-level race. Dong Huang's initial idea was to take advantage of the fact that Yunnan had just revived and was in an enfeebled state to take its life while it was weak. However, who knew that Yunnan wasn't as weak as he imagined? Instead, he was very strong. Now, even if he pulled divine forbidden arms to fight, it would be equivalent to killing 1,000 enemies and sacrificing hundreds. If they paid a huge price and could win, Yunnan would have been blown into pieces. If it were the background of the previous era, doing this wouldn't be a loss. After all, the demon god iron-eating beast was very strong. However, the mythical stage was about to revive. The demon god iron-eating beast was not that strategic for the mythical era, unless they developed more new evolution paths on this foundation. At the same time, he could also learn more information about the abyssal factions through it. Therefore, Shiyu's idea was to watch and lock onto Yunnan first. When there were safer and easier battle tactics, such as the World Tree waking up and Susu breaking through, he would fight the battle. No wonder he could kill the Heavenly Sword demigods. Upon hearing Shiyu's words, President Lin fell silent. Don't worry, Senior Divine Source has already sent its mechanical pet over. Shiyu, come back first. President Lin was tired and was no longer at ease to let Shiyu out. Alright, I'll return to Dong Huang later. I've obtained the divine-level meteorite iron of the Heavenly Sword Nation. I'll evolve my pet first and go back after that. If it's domestic evolution, the commotion is too big. President Lin? Use it as an evolution resource? Evolution again? President Lin was stunned and felt that it was extremely ridiculous. From the level of Shiyu's pets, none of them looked like they could increase their race level again. After ending the call with President Lin, Shiyu returned to the legendary ruined space excitedly, feeling that this was a treasure land for evolution. There were no human islands nearby. Even if the evolution fluctuations leaked from the legendary ruins, it would only affect some small fish and shrimps. Shiyu didn't care so much. At this moment, all over the ruined space, the pets muttered. Little G and Little Duck looked at each other from afar and cursed Yunnan. Damn Yunnan! The Good Sword Trial Conference was disturbed by it. They had prepared for so long. Who knew how hard it had been? The inflated Little G and Ducky even wanted to fuse with the Earth Divine Dragon Fossil and the Abyss Seed and take on the big quest to kill Yunnan. 11 and the others also looked regretful. Why didn't this Yunnan come out half a year later? If it had come out half a year later, they might have had the ability to fight Yunnan head-on. At that moment, in Shiyu's team, 11, Buggy, Baby Ginseng, Kai Tong, Susu, and Ling all had methods to resist weaker top-notch totems. In fact, in certain specific situations, individual pets still had a chance to defeat top-notch totems alone. For example, if Baby Ginseng ate the time fruit enhanced by a quasi-divine skill and self-destructed after igniting the flame of life, if the opponent wasn't a spatial element that was good at escaping like the Gem Cat and was directly shot at, it would basically die. Even if a demigod took it head-on, they would be injured. If Shiyu's mind domain, Ling's fusion mecha, and baby Ginseng's time fruit were included, it wasn't impossible for all of them to deal with a demigod for a period of time. Unfortunately, this eruption didn't last long. It could only resist a few rounds. Even if it could cause some damage to demigods, it wouldn't be a big deal. As long as it couldn't be insta-killed, Shiyu and the others would definitely lose. After all, in a true demigod-level state, it could use quasi-divine skills 10 times. As for Shiyu and the others, because their basic level was too weak, they were only at the Overlord level. If they wanted to display their power, they could only use it as a one-time eruption. After one round, it became impotent and weak. It was still too difficult to erupt into a normal state. But even so, Shiyu could be said to be a titled legend of the top echelon. For example, ordinary titled legends could only fight against normal totems. Relatively powerful titled legends, such as the Tyrannical Sea Legend, could defeat normal totems and fight top-notch totems. Top-notch titled legends, such as President Lin, were said to have defeated top-notch totems with their contract pets. On Shiyu's side, defeating a top-notch totem was clearly not difficult. If Yunnan hadn't come at that time and only the Black Meteorite Divine Ape had arrived, Shiyu and the others would have killed this monkey no matter what. They just didn't know how much battle power Kai Tong's evolution could increase on this foundation. Kai Tong, come on, prepare to evolve. This guy, he had just finished the battle and was already eating ice cream. Wasn't he afraid of getting a stomachache? Woo! When Kai Tong saw Shiyu return, it finished the ice cream in 2 to 3 bites and quickly got up. 11 and the others' gazes also focused. Woo! It's finally starting. 11 rubbed its face. For the past month, Shiyu had been preparing for Kai Tong's evolution. The entire team helped Kai Tong nurture and train its clones. It could be said to be the treatment of a biological daughter. Gee! The last evolution won't be weak. This isn't a bet, it's an analysis. Buggy analyzed. Ling was the first to complete its evolution and become a mythical race. Susu was the second, and it became the Ocean Faith God. 11 was the third to evolve and become a mythical race. The fourth became the Starry Sky Faith God, and baby Ginseng was the fifth to become a mythical race. It had finally reached Kai Tong. How could it be weak? Buggy calculated according to its own logic, it couldn't be weak. Moreover, it might be ridiculously strong because of the version bonus. Chapter 1028, 1028 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 3. 1028 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 3. Yi! Charge! 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 Baby Ginseng cried. For Kai Tong, not only had it used up all Shiyu's fruits of life, but it had also provided various nutritional supplements. It created a basket of World Tree fruits. The energy of the entire legendary ruins was about to be drained dry by baby Ginseng. Shiyu had already planned when to eliminate this legendary ruins and develop little purples in a world with all his might. Ning tilde, Kai Tong tilde, Susu looked at Kai Tong eagerly. Become stronger and don't forget each other. To be honest, the Blue Sea Sprite race didn't make it feel safe. Multiple legendary resources, dozens of max-level Sword Dao skills to build the foundation, 2 mythical resources, and transcendent-level evolution skills. The strength is not a problem, Ling said confidently. Even if it was a demigod, it was impossible to gather so many resources to optimize their race without hundreds or thousands of years of accumulation. Now, the greatest problem is whether we can successfully survive the evolution stage. Yes! Kai Tong clenched its pink fists, flames appearing in its eyes. Evolution! It, who had never evolved in the team, could finally evolve. Shiyu smiled. Take your time. When you're done evolving, we'll carry out the next team meeting. Kai Tong was shocked and felt that Shiyu had healed it. But it wasn't a big problem. Let's begin. As Shiyu spoke, Kai Tong directly summoned for sword clones in the form of a sword maiden. The first one was silver-white, containing purple light that reflected the profundity of space. Not only did Shiyu use 2 spatial legendary resources on the sword clone, but he also gave it a few spatial skills to fuse the spatial sword intent in the Heavenly Sword Nation. Moreover, he taught a bunch of sword formation skills. The second one was curved and red. Red light lingered around the entire sword body. The clone of this sword grew in the divine level resource, the life fire, and was entangled and tempered by Kai Tong's phoenix sword intent. On this sword, Kai Tong's flame of regeneration had obtained an epic increase, even stronger than its main body. The third one, the darkness of the sword and the blue-green death aura intertwined, containing the Nirvana death wave. This sword clone perfectly fused the strongest Death Nirvana sword intent of the demon sect into itself through a large number of perfect level world tree fruits. It was extremely close to the death law. At the same time, because Kai Tong was an undead itself, as the sword of death and the sword with the highest basic value, the large amount of death aura accumulated by the enemy's Kai Tong's main body killed was used as nutrients for its growth. At the moment, the last one had only comprehended the sharp metal sword intent through the fusion of many metal element sword skills. It was ordinary, but after the trial of the Heavenly Sword Ruins, it was actually also to show off one's ability. It could be said that every one of these sword clones could crush top-notch overlords alone. And now, Shiyu wanted them all to fuse into Kai Tong's main body and complete the evolution. Who? For swords appeared around Kai Tong. Following that, Shiyu took out the divine level meteor iron and floated in the air. Kai Tong controlled the crowd control life flame to wrap and melt the metal, trying to fuse it with the fourth sharp metal sword. Under the modification of the life flame, the form of the divine level meteor iron slowly changed, emitting a shocking sharp light that extremely repelled and fused into the impregnable metal sword. Clang! With every fusion, the sharp metal sword bloomed and let out an ear-piercing sword cry, causing the entire legendary ruin space to tremble. Rip! A dazzling sword light shot out, and even the void was cut by the light from time to time. A clone is already so powerful. Shiyu was immediately forced back by the sharp light stimulated by the divine level meteor iron. He was looking forward to Kai Tong's potential after evolving through so many luxurious evolution resources. The process of tempering the sword clone in the end was indeed long. However, Shiyu and the others had sufficient patience to wait. After an unknown period of time, with a hum, the space of the legendary ruins was pierced by sharp metal sword lights of various sizes. The flame of regeneration also fused into the sword of life again. For sword clones that contained strong fluctuations circled around Kai Tong. With just Kai Tong's thought, these sword clones could fuse into its body. Now! Shiyu gave the order and maintained telepathy with Kai Tong, hoping to know the changes in its body immediately. Buzz! In the next moment, the sharp metal sword that had fused with the divine level metal meteor iron emitted a strong metal light. The power of the sharp light seemed to be able to easily split its divine body into two. Its sword body was reversed, and the tip of the sword directly stabbed into Kai Tong's body from its chest and disappeared. At the same time, its aura rose steadily again. Shiyu's voice also sounded in Kai Tong's heart. Immortal slaying sharpness, immortal slaying, and immortal trap. Red light rose everywhere, and the transformation of the immortal absolute was endless. The blood of the various gods dyed the clothes. Kai Tong, although your evolution template, the immortal slaying sword formation, is a fiction, unlike the green dragon template, which has the support of the mind domain. The 4 sword clones are cultivated according to what you need the most, the direction you're best at. In this evolution, use the sword formation formed by multiple sword clones as weapons. You will control the sword formation as the core sword spirit. Chapter 1029, 1029 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 4. 1029 Evolution of the Kai Tong God, 4. Believe in yourself. You will use another path to become the initial immortal slaying sword spirit, the god-slaying sword spirit. Yes. As Shiyu finished speaking, Kai Tong's gaze was firm and gentle as it fused the sword of life and the sword of space. It also hoped that it could successfully evolve. If it was the weakest in the team, how could it protect Shiyu? At this moment, the fusion evolution effect of the transcendent level soul incarnation was activated by Kai Tong. Boom! The shocking white sword intent turned into evolution light. Soul incarnation, origin evolution. The increase in Kai Tong's aura began to far exceed before. The shocking sword intent fluctuations directly made the expressions of Little G, Ducky, and the others in the second team's space suddenly change. They looked in the direction of the first team's space and felt uneasy. This power. At this moment, Shiyu could completely sense the terrifying power on Kai Tong's body. It was very terrifying. After all, it was using two divine-level resources as evolution materials to transform into race potential. Although it wasn't like 11, who had the support of the mysterious Taiji Yin-Yang domain, this evolution shouldn't be a problem to help Kai Tong reach the God domain. Under Shiyu's extremely expectant gaze. With a hum, the huge projection of 400-meter-long swords appeared in the sky around the legendary ruins. Boom! Space distorted. Under the pressure of their sword intent, the entire legendary ruin seemed to have turned into a world of swords. Countless sword-like shadows leaped, making the sword fluctuations here even exceed the levels of the heavenly sword ruins. In this sword formation domain, the pressure 11 and the others felt reached the extreme. Their expressions were extremely solemn. Its own consciousness warned them crazily that there was life and death danger. It seemed to be reflecting the terrifying power of Kai Tong's evolution. Metal, space! As Shiyu shouted, some information about Kai Tong's evolution appeared in his heart. Pet name, Kai Tong. Stats, undead, fire, metal, space. Level of growth, overlord. Of course, Shiyu knew that the evolution had yet to end. The power of the four sword clones had only modified Kai Tong's body first. The powerful potential contained in them had yet to fuse together to form a new race skill. This evolution was actually not 100% successful. It was the same as 11's evolution. It was an extremely complicated process. Back then, 11 had the support of Shiyu's Taiji domain, but Kai Tong's risk this time was still unknown. The world tree fruit he ate in advance was a support. He hoped to control and fuse with this new form under the strengthened state of his comprehension talent. Immortal slaying sharpness, immortal slaying, immortal trap, red light everywhere, endless immortal transformation, the blood of the various gods dyeing the clothes. Kai Tong kept muttering the evolution template provided by Shiyu, hoping to create such a sword formation skill that could kill immortals. However, as time passed, her expression became more and more difficult. The evolution process was not very smooth. It was still too difficult to fuse the power of the four sword clones and promote the evolution of the main body. Shiyu saw it in his heart and was very worried. How can I help? As Kai Tong fused and evolved, Shiyu kept trying to establish and deepen his mental connection with Kai Tong. He wanted to activate the Taiji domain to try to help Kai Tong fuse the power of life and death, but it wasn't as smooth as before. The compatibility of this mind domain was still the highest with 11. He wanted to use the strengthening of the world tree fruit to develop a new mind domain with his current connection with Kai Tong, but it wasn't that easy. Shiyu tried his best to help Kai Tong. To Shiyu's surprise, at the critical moment, in the dark sea of consciousness, it was because of his mental connection with Kai Tong that the skill index's skill fusion furnace was activated. It was very useful. Shiyu slowly opened his eyes and realized that his various powers were being extracted to strengthen Kai Tong's evolution. No, or rather, it was used to accelerate Kai Tong's awakening and fusion of new racial skills. At this moment, Shiyu could see that under the light of evolution, Kai Tong's body had undergone some subtle changes. There weren't many changes. It was as if she had grown a little taller and grown a little, but as time passed, with a boom. The scale of the four sword projections increased by more than 10 times. The power on them surged and kept spreading, as if it had turned into thousands of projections that wrapped them in, forming a domain. Standing inside, 11, Buggy, Baby Ginseng, and the others looked around with serious expressions. Buzz! At this moment, the vibration of the legendary ruins had reached an unprecedented level. The ground, sky, and void were filled with cracks. At the same time, an incomparably deep sound of laws appeared. The spatial power and natural power in the two tiger were all suppressed. From the quality of the power of laws, it seemed to be above ordinary laws. Quasi-divine skill, Shiyu said excitedly before his face turned pale. Moreover, it was quite powerful. Outside the ruins, as Shiyu had expected, in the vast sea, millions of sea creatures looked at the sky above the sea in horror. They looked at the trembling and changing current and didn't know what had happened. The sound of laws that resounded through their spirit and hearts made them involuntarily submit. However, the killing intent contained in it made them even more afraid. This is a killing array that determines life and death, Ling said seriously on Shiyu and the other's side. Master, hold on. Kai Tong's evolution will be completed soon. It also looked at Shiyu worriedly. At this moment, Kai Tong's figure finally gradually became clear. She still looked the same, but her aura had transcendent changes, like a dragon god, containing a magical charm. Boom! The four sword projections hung in the sky like thunder rumbling. The sword light swayed and kept shrinking, flying towards Kai Tong. At the same time, they fused into four and landed in her hand. However, the huge sword formation formed by the sword intent and sword light didn't disappear at all. The current Kai Tong was like a shocking killing array in its palm. It only raised the sword in its hand slightly, and the entire legendary space accelerated the collapse. At this moment, Shiyu was completely overjoyed. Success! Skill name, Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Stats, Undead, Fire, Metal, Space. Level, Quasi-Divine Skill. Introduction: it contains special sword laws and is very powerful. In the sword formation, it's mysterious and strange. It's filled with endless killing intent and is filled with danger. As soon as one enters this formation, it's instantly turned into ashes and smoke, and its life force disappears. At this moment, Shiyu's heart was excited and complicated. All the power of the four clones disintegrated, recombined, and fused into a quasi-divine skill with huge potential. Invincible. This time, it's really invincible. Kai Tong and I will fight together and kill top-notch totems like dogs. Shiyu said excitedly. He wanted to fight. He wanted to test his skill. He wanted to see the undying Dark Phoenix. However, in the next moment, Shiyu's face turned pale and he fainted. Unknowingly, the consumption was greater than adding some super skills continuously and fusing super skills. Woo woo woo. Beast Tamer. Seeing this, 11 and the others were shocked. Ah. Kai Tong saw that Shiyu had consumed too much energy because of its evolution. It instantly put away the sword formation nervously and worriedly and flew over. Crap. Baby Ginseng, save him. Chapter 1030 Welcome to the Mythical Era. 1030 Welcome to the Mythical Era. Assisting Kai Tong in fusing and awakening quasi-divine skills during its evolution consumed a lot of energy. He had consumed more than 90% of the 10,000 years of lifespan strengthened by the Eternal Flower, and his vitality was greatly injured. Baby Ginseng nursed Shiyu back for a day. Wow, 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 wow. Shiyu lay weakly on the big bed and looked at the familiar ceiling. A discordant voice echoed in his mouth. F*CK? Is this the so-called extremely low success rate? He now felt that his body was numb and unable to exert any strength. In Ling's words, he was finished. He should recuperate for half a month. In the past half a month, be it the mind domain or the additional points for fusion, it was best not to use them. Moreover, during this period of time, it was best if Baby Ginseng didn't leave his side and carried it like a cell phone. Now, Shiyu was as weak as the Vortex Demon Beast, the Black Meteorite Yak, and the Ancient Gods. This made Shiyu's balls hurt slightly, but it wasn't unacceptable. At most, he would slowly meditate and rest. In any case, Kai Tong had already completed its evolution. They had created the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation as they wished. His obsession for a short period of time was completed. Master, when you were sleeping, President Lin called you again, Ling said. I picked up on your behalf. What is it? Shiyu said. When the reconnaissance machinery of the Divine Source Legendary arrived at the Heavenly Sword Nation, the Yun race had already left. They left very quickly and couldn't lock onto their traces. I knew it, Shiyu muttered. He ran really quickly, but it's all right. When the World Tree awakens, it shouldn't be difficult to find them. By the way, what's the situation in the Heavenly Sword Nation? Shiyu asked. If Yunnan didn't achieve his goal, the Heavenly Sword Nation would most likely suffer. There are no traces of damage elsewhere in the Heavenly Sword Ancient Nation, but it's said that the Sword Ghost God and everyone on the Sword God Mountain have mysteriously disappeared. At the same time, the two totems of the Heavenly Sword Nation disappeared. Ling suspects that Yunnan must have abducted them and wanted to modify them into the Yun race. After all, the Yun race has just revived, and their faction is far inferior to the ancient times. They urgently need to expand their faction and replenish their new blood. It can be said that the Heavenly Sword Nation has no leader and has already fallen into complete chaos. Moreover, before Yunnan left the Heavenly Sword Nation, he even left a message for Master. At the moment, Dong Huang is considering whether to take over the Heavenly Sword Nation. Shiyu fell into deep thought and said, "Don't tell me Yunnan said that he would definitely kill me." "Master, you're so smart. It told you to hide in Dong Huang for the rest of your life and not go out. Otherwise, it'll kill you every time it sees you. It knows that you ate the undying fruit and said that it would kill you twice, but it still won't be able to solve the hatred in its heart." Shiyu? He's just a demigod. So be it. I originally didn't plan to leave Dong Huang in the short term. Ling? Ling was speechless. How could he be so arrogant and say such cowardly words? But that made sense. There was no need to fight Yunnan now and develop for a while from Kai Tong's evolution this time. Ling felt that they would be able to face Demigod soon. President Lin, he also asked you to contact him after you wake up. I understand. Shiyu sighed. He used his psychic power to hook the cell phone on the table and dialed President Lin. Soon, President Lin picked up in silence. "President Lin, I'm back in Dong Huang. How's the situation now?" "Ling has already told you, right?" President Lin said. "At the moment, it's still that progress. Now, Yunnan is hiding again. It's very difficult to find. Don't leave Dong Huang." "All right." Shiyu smiled, but he felt that Yunnan was also bragging. Even if he left Dong Huang, unless he was especially high profile, it was impossible for Yunnan to find him. Moreover, the next time he left Dong Huang, he would return to ancient times to play. It was even more impossible for Yunnan to find him. But I also know that you can't stay idle. There are also many unsolved ruins mystic realms in Dong Huang. If you really can't stay idle, walk around Dong Huang more, President Lin said helplessly. As the founder of Bureau 11, didn't he know the mindsets of Bureau 11 archaeologists? No problem, no problem. Shiyu smiled and said, "I happen to plan to rest for a period of time." President Lin said, "That's good. In addition, if you have time, you can also help train Lu Qingyi, Lin Xiuju, White Brook, and the others. After all, they are the hope of Dong Huang's next world competition. Didn't you say back then that you could also teach your psychic skill to others? With your current strength and foundation, I'm afraid there aren't many trainers better than you in all of Dong Huang." Shiyu had a strange expression. Why were they all women he was familiar with? President Lin definitely had other bad intentions. "That's not a problem. I have that thought," Shiyu said. At the moment, baby ginseng's world tree fruit was already considered mature. This world tree fruit could increase one's comprehension talent. Coupled with the body control talent bead in Senior Lu's hand, Shiyu felt that it was definitely very useful. For example, if the beast-eared girl used her body to control the talent bead and cooperated with the world tree fruit to develop the fusion talent, the chances of developing a top-notch fusion talent like Emperor Wu would increase greatly. At that time, it wasn't impossible for him to torture Overlord-level pets at the level of a level 5 beast tamer. This was the aptitude of a legendary. At the moment, because his family background was too rich, Shiyu no longer limited his desire to nurture pets. He even wanted to nurture people. Chapter 1031 Welcome to the Mythical Era, 2. 1031 Welcome to the Mythical Era, 2. President Lin said, during this period of time, I've been thinking about what Dong Huang will use to welcome the mythical era. Even during the peak of the mythical era, Blue Planet was only a small corner of the vast starry sky. Although the World Tree entrusted the hope of Blue Planet to humans, the time left for human development is still too short. Even if every legendary is a genius with the potential to enter the mythical domain in the future, there are still too few such people. Dong Huang needs more geniuses like you. You're already in front. If you can help them, that would be best. President Lin thought for a long time. Although Shiyu was a genius and had extremely strong talent potential, he couldn't place all the fate of the country on Shiyu alone. No one could guarantee that Shiyu could definitely grow successfully. From President Lin's perspective, he hoped that the entire Dong Huang was powerful and everyone was like dragons, not Shiyu alone. Of course, the difficulty was even greater. Yeah. Shiyu nodded. He didn't want Dong Huang to bet everything on him either. At the thought of this, he suddenly understood Lin Feng Legendary. Legendary Lin Feng's goal in nurturing the second team was to let them protect Dong Huang, so he could wander around without any worries. Instead of the current situation, where people like Divine Source Legendary were very tired and needed to sleep at all times to protect Dong Huang. In fact, Shiyu looked forward to being like Lin Feng Legendary more. If he kept staying in Dong Huang, he would suffocate to death. Then I'll nurture more geniuses with legendary potential, Shiyu said. Please don't put everything on him. Compared to staying in Dong Huang, space-time travel, starry sky travel, and the unknown place mentioned by the World Tree attracted Shiyu to explore more. Well, he also wanted to learn from Lin Feng Legendary and nurture some second teams. He just had to leave them behind to help him take care of his acquaintances in Dong Huang. I'll help, Shiyu said. Dong Huang doesn't have any other plans. In order to welcome the mythical era, Dong Huang has already started to prepare, President Lin said with a smile. Thanks to you and the Blue Sea Sprite, Dong Huang has already completed an alliance with most ocean totem factions like the Endless Sea and the Ghost Sea. Now that Dong Huang has basically mastered the hegemony of the sea, it can travel the sea freely and come into contact with most totem factions through the sea. Now, under the threat of external enemies and the guidance of the World Tree, Dong Huang can already try to open up world trade and earn more resources. It can even lead to upgrading the Seven-Nation Alliance to the Blue Planet Alliance. If Dong Huang can become the master of the alliance, the fate of the country will be tied to the fate of the planet. It can use a large amount of resources to change the talent potential of the beast tamers in the country and nurture more geniuses. Shiyu said, Blue Planet Alliance? Economic globalization? Benefiting the community? It was indeed not bad, but not only between humans and the totem country, but there's also a blood feud between the totem countries. Even if there's the threat of external enemies, it's very difficult to establish a planet alliance, right? Shiyu said. Yeah. President Lin nodded. Therefore, the Seven-Nation Alliance is planning to develop a large-scale ruins mystic realm that can connect the entire world and build a second virtual world with the power of technology. At that time, through the various benefits of the second world, it will lure the totem country to join. This might become a key step in establishing the Blue Planet Alliance. Shiyu was stunned. A virtual game? The Seven-Nation Alliance was going to play big this time. It sounded quite interesting, but unfortunately, he was also busy establishing the planet world and couldn't spare the energy to mess around with the 7 countries. The Heavenly Fox Nation and the Heavenly Sword Nation I've been to don't have any technological foundation. Most totem countries are the same. Using the power of technology to invade culture is indeed a dimensional reduction attack, Shiyu said. But this way, the technological level of the totem country will quickly get on track. President Lin smiled and said, this can't be helped. As long as high-end technology is in the hands of the 7 countries, it's fine. The most important thing now is still to welcome the mythical era. After talking to President Lin for a long time, Shi Yu stretched and lay on the bed again to look at the ceiling. After the incident with Yunnan, it was normal for President Lin not to want him to run around. As for the ruins' mystic realms in the country, there were indeed a few that interested Shi Yu. For example, he had never been to the ruin that trapped the strongest person in Bureau 11 who had yet to come out. For example, Shi Yu had yet to find the ruins corresponding to the ruins crystal that flew out of the heroic spirit ruins established by Emperor Shi. He didn't know if it was in Donghuang. Shi Yu stretched again and was thinking about where to start exploring, but in the next moment, he suddenly looked in the direction of the East Sea, which was the sea area of the Ice Dragon Snow Mountain. He sensed at least 2 totem-level fluctuations from there. Ling. Well, it should be the Totem Dragon King of Dragon Palace City. It seems to be the aura of Senior Ice Dragon. The other one is relatively unfamiliar. Golden Dragon King? Ling said. Let's go take a look, Shi Yu said. In the Ice Dragon Snow Mountain Sea area, as the headquarters of the Environmental Protection Department, the Navy was still stationed here. Huang Qi, Center Mingji, and the others underwent special training at the sea base every day. At the moment, they were the highest commanders of this godforsaken base. Chapter 1032 Welcome to the Mythical Era, 3. 1032 Welcome to the Mythical Era, 3. These two had once gone to Dragon Palace City as Navy representatives and gone to the Pirate King ruins to adventure with Shi Yu. Now, they were also pillars of the Marine Environmental Protection Department. It could be said that their future was promising. However, they were actually very depressed because the Marine Environmental Protection Department was 2F** King free. The original highest commander, Xiao Qin, directly ran to be a general for Shi Yu's Mechanical Phantom Beast Army because she was too free and didn't come here at all. Only they were left silently guarding this sea and pulling a group of Ping Cheng recruits to train. They solved a large number of employment problems for Ping Cheng and Icefield City. On this day, the wind was gentle and the sun was bright. The new recruits looked at the black dot in the distance in confusion. The invisible pressure made them swallow their saliva and reveal incredulous expressions. Energy ripple number 1, unable to detect. Energy ripple number 2, unable to detect. Energy wave 3, 7.6 million. What's going on? Huang Qi quickly arrived beside the reconnaissance device in the base. As he captured it, he was stunned. It was a Western dragon and 2 Eastern divine dragons. The dragon was mainly made of black and blue scales, and its might was terrifying, as if it was the leader of 3 creatures. As for the other 2, one was a white divine dragon, and the other was an even larger golden divine dragon. When he saw them, Huang Qi was clearly stunned. He didn't know the dragon, but he felt that the golden divine dragon and white divine dragon were a little familiar. It's the eldest and 3rd princes of Dragon Palace City. Beside him, Center Mingji quickly said, it's not the enemy, it's the divine dragons of Dragon Palace City. However, although it was Dragon Palace City, Huang Qi and Center Mingji still quickly chose to send a signal to intercept. At the same time, they immediately informed Shi Yu. Even members of Dragon Palace City couldn't enter Donghuang without official procedures. Roar! Countless recruits looked at the sky in shock. They had never seen such a powerful creature. Your Highness, and this Lord Huang Qi and Center Mingji immediately ran to welcome him. In the sky, the Frost Demon Dragon raised its eyebrows and said, I'm the Frost Dragon King, the in charge of the Environmental Protection Department of Dragon Palace City. Even I don't know how you guys carry out your professional training. Huang Qi and Center Mingji were shocked. The Frost Dragon King didn't look like this. Why did it look like it had turned into a demon? Forget it. Totem level, together with the eldest and 3rd princes, it was most likely the Frost Dragon King. They said, Greetings, Lord Frost Dragon King. May I know why you're here in Donghuang? Looking for Shi Yu, Ice Dragon said. We've already contacted Minister Shi Yu. That's good. Let's wait. Ice Dragon nodded. Yo, charge! Beside him, the little white dragon snorted. Big Brother Golden Dragon, are you really going to challenge Senior Shiyu? It looked at the noble and incomparably powerful nine-clawed golden dragon beside it. Yes. The eldest son of Dragon Palace City had a calm expression. It was the son of the Golden Dragon, King of Dragon Palace City, the eldest prince of Dragon Palace City. Its talent potential had even obtained the recognition of the Dragon God. At the monarch level, it was invincible. At the overlord level, it was invincible. Now, after multiple trials, it relied on transcendent super race skills, legendary resources, and overlord resistance to break through to the totem level. As soon as it broke through to the totem level, it returned to Dragon Palace City from the ruins Mystic Realm. Right on the heels of that, it learned about the end of the world competition. It learned about Shiyu's legend experience in Dong Huang from his parents. A beast tamer who cultivated a mythical race and a green dragon, a beast tamer who could instantly kill totems above his level as an overlord. Various legendary experiences shocked the Golden Dragon Prince. When many legendaries heard this, they really wanted the Golden Dragon Prince to challenge Shiyu's green dragon, and the mythical race. It didn't believe that there was a dragon stronger than it at the same level. However, after telling its father this thought, it was immediately denied. It's impossible. The Green Dragon Prince of the Dragonman Empire is also at the totem level. It was insta-killed by a meteorite. Although it's countered by the Green Dragon bloodline, it's not much better for you to go. Regarding this, the Golden Dragon Prince didn't believe it, but it wasn't arrogant either. It chose to enter the Dragon God ruins to train first. As soon as it entered, it was very lucky to obtain 5 legendary resources. With the help of these 5 resources, its strength increased greatly in just 2 months. Its strength was close to the standard of a top-notch totem. It was completely incomparable to a totem like the Green Dragon Prince that relied on external forces to advance. Therefore, it had the thought of challenging Shiyu's Green Dragon again. This time, the Golden Dragon Prince finally obtained his father's recognition. After asking the Dragon God, he also obtained the Dragon God's recognition, so he came to visit Dong Huang to challenge. At the same time, for some reason, the Dragon God even sent the Frost Dragon King to accompany it. As for the little white dragon, it was purely here to join in the fun. Hi! As the Ice Dragon, Golden Dragon, and Little White Dragon waited, soon, spatial ripples rippled. Shiyu appeared out of thin air in the sky above the sea. So free to come to Dong Huang? Shiyu floated in the sky with his psychic power and smiled at the Ice Dragon and the Little White Dragon. At the same time, he looked at the powerful 9-clawed Golden Dragon beside him in slight surprise. It was already close to top-notch totems like the Golden Dragon King. Golden Dragon Prince. Previously, he had understood that it was only an invincible overlord. It had only been a few months, but its battle power had actually reached the level of a top-notch totem? The Dragon God told us to. After Mother Dragon saw Shiyu, she immediately welcomed him with a smile. It couldn't be helped. Shiyu had given it a divine-level evolution resource. Apart from Mu Huiyin, Shiyu was its closest relative. The Dragon God asked me to send you some equipment. She seems to be saying that you broke the one she gave you previously, Ice Dragon said. Ah. Shiyu was stunned and immediately realized. The Dragon God definitely sensed the use and destruction of the Dragon God protection. This was creating another one for Ice Dragon to send over. Also, Big Brother Golden Dragon wants to challenge your Green Dragon, Senior Shiyu. It said that the Green Dragon is only SOSO. It can also fight with its 2 claws, the Little White Dragon beside him said. It immediately made the 9-clawed Golden Dragon turn to look at it. The eldest prince? When the F*CK did he say that? It didn't bully the Little White Dragon as much as the clueless prince. Challenge Buggy? Shiyu was stunned and looked at the Golden Dragon Prince. So that was the case. However, why was it challenging Buggy? How good was it to challenge Kai Tong? It wasn't that Shiyu was afraid that Buggy couldn't defeat it. Not only did Kai Tong fuse a pile of top-notch super skills, but Buggy and the others were also the same. Skills like the Green Dragon indestructible body were all explosively strong. Moreover, it was just an ordinary battle. It didn't matter if it won or not. Shiyu didn't even want to use the meteorite, afraid that it would waste the power of faith. It was mainly because Kai Tong had just evolved and he hadn't had time to see the power of the immortal slaying sword formation. Shiyu looked at the Golden Dragon Prince seriously. Then, he looked at the Dragon Mother who had reached a top-notch totem and looked even fiercer than the Golden Dragon Prince. A bold idea appeared in his heart. "All right, I accept the challenge," Shiyu said with a smile. The undying Dark Phoenix was still a mother, and so was Mother Dragon. Why not let Kai Tong hit this mother first? At this moment, as Shiyu accepted the Golden Dragon Prince's challenge, for some reason, Ice Dragon felt a cold aura and chill rising from behind. Chapter 1033, 1033 for Holy Beasts Descend, 1. 1033 for Holy Beasts Descend, 1. The super genius from Ping Cheng, the legend of the world, Shiyu. Dong Huang's most important ally, the eldest prince of the strongest ocean faction, Dragon Palace City. To the new recruits of the Environmental Protection Department below, these two were both legendary existences that they needed to look up to. And now, they wanted to fight in a few words after meeting, immediately making these new recruits excited. It seemed like he was about to encounter big news. "Minister Shiyu, do you want to fight?" Below, Huang Qi, Center Mingzi, and the others were also instantly excited. There was a good show to watch. "Oh?" Shiyu looked down and said, "It's none of your business. Continue training. Remember to activate the protection facility to avoid the aftermath interference." In a battle of this level, how could he have the time to protect a group of new recruits? What the hell? Who? As Shiyu finished speaking, the excited expressions of most of the people below stopped. So heartless. Let's go to the isolated island. The eldest prince of Dragon Palace City was rather satisfied to see Shiyu accept the challenge. Then, Shiyu and the others flew to an isolated island in the East Sea. During this process, Ice Dragon handed the new Dragon God protection to Shiyu. During this period, the Golden Dragon Prince wanted to say something but hesitated many times. It said, "What the little white dragon said just now was nonsense. I didn't say it." Although it wasn't afraid of Shiyu, it didn't want to take the blame. The little white dragon, no? Did I remember wrongly? Shiyu? It's all right, there's no need to overestimate it. It's still far from the real green dragon, Shiyu said. Ice Dragon and Little White Dragon, nonsense. They had seen the World Tournament. How could they not know if that strength was the real Green Dragon? Oh? However, when the Golden Dragon Prince saw that Shiyu had shown weakness before the battle, he became even more confident. Soon, Shiyu flew to an isolated island with Dragon Palace City. After arriving, the Ice Dragon and the Little White Dragon immediately turned into melons and ran to the side excitedly. "I'll protect the venue," Ice Dragon said. "I'll cheer you on," the Little White Dragon said. "Roar! Then I won't hold back. Sir Shiyu, thank you for the battle." In the sky, the 100-meter-long Golden Dragon Crown Prince circled up, its golden scales shining. Shiyu could sense the strength of the Golden Dragon Prince's physique. The Golden Dragon race was also a race known for its physique. Because of the advantage of level, its current strength was even above Buggy. This time, Buggy would have a difficult battle. Shiyu didn't plan to help Buggy, including the Green Dragon Domain and Spirit Connection. His current body didn't allow it either. He would treat it as letting Buggy train itself. Same. "Please do your best, Your Highness." Shiyu smiled politely. Roar! In the next moment, the huge black summoning array behind Shiyu shone with a green-gold light. In the spatial ripples, a 100-meter-long green divine dragon appeared. Its golden eyes stared at the golden dragon in front of it. The two dragons looked at each other, their eyes especially red. "You're the lucky guy who evolved into a green dragon. Come on, let me see how strong the green dragon's faith skill is." The Golden Dragon Prince's gaze was serious as he made a full battle state, wanting to see how strong the Green Dragon's faith skill was. Gee! I refuse. However, Buggy turned around proudly. If he wanted to see faith skills, he had to pay more. Golden Dragon Prince? The Golden Dragon Prince raised his eyebrows and said, "What do you mean?" Shiyu smiled and said, "Your Highness, the use of the Green Dragon faith skill will consume rare power of faith. It's not suitable to use it easily. We're just sparring. There's no need to work so hard, right? Let's stop when it's time." Golden Dragon Prince? Roar. The Green Dragon Buggy nodded. Yes, every time a piece was smashed, its heart would ache. There was no benefit in defeating him. Wasting the power of faith was a huge loss. It's at the Overlord level, and I'm at the Totem level. How can it fight me without the power of faith? The Golden Dragon Prince frowned and said, "What I want is more than just a spar. Please be more serious and do your best." The reason why the Golden Dragon Prince wanted to challenge was because he sensed the threat of Shiyu and the Green Dragon Buggy. At the moment, it was said that Dragon Palace City, such as the Frost Dragon King, the Sea Dragon King, the Azure Dragon King, and even the Dragon God, respected the Green Dragon very much. This made it, the eldest prince, feel a sense of danger. Under normal circumstances, after the Dragon God abdicated, it was a Dragon Palace genius with a high chance of becoming the new Dragon God. Now, the talent and potential of the various Dragon Kings were inferior to it. Initially, the future was incomparably beautiful, but now, a green dragon had appeared out of nowhere and was even supported by most of the factions of the Dragon Palace. How could the Golden Dragon Prince be at ease? It had come this time to test the Green Dragon's trump card, but if the opponent didn't want to expose it, what was there to be happy about even if it won with its high realm? In the end, it still didn't obtain any information. Only by defeating the Overlord-level Green Dragon that erupted with all its might could it deduce the threat the Green Dragon posed to it after entering the Totem level. Only then would it know how to become stronger. No one could snatch the position of the Dragon God. Your Highness, don't worry. Even if it doesn't use the power of faith, it won't be weak, Shiyu said. The Golden Dragon Prince, nonsense. Did they even take a Totem level like him seriously? Roar. The Golden Dragon Prince's dragon eyes flickered. Damn it, to think it had cultivated for so long before coming to challenge. In the end, the so-called world legend was actually so timid. Shiyu and Buggy's attitude made the Golden Dragon Prince grit its teeth in anger. It could even use a meteorite to fight the Green Dragon Prince of the Dragonman Empire, so why couldn't it use it on it? Chapter 1034, 1034 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 2. 1034 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 2. Don't be afraid. It's just a little power of faith. How can the Crown Prince let you suffer? Regardless of whether you win or lose, the Crown Prince will definitely promote faith in Dragon Palace City to replenish it for you after the battle. Ice Dragon said from the side. Yes, the little white dragon also said. Really? Shiyu looked at the Golden Dragon Prince. Golden Dragon Prince, huh? It looked at the Frost Dragon King and the little white dragon. What exactly were these two dragons doing? In the face of Shiyu and Buggy's gazes, the Golden Dragon Prince's mouth opened slightly. The few Dragon Kings of Dragon Palace City had their own spheres of influence. Although Ice Dragon was trying its best to help Shiyu promote the Green Dragon faith in Dragon Palace City, it was not easy to touch other people's territory. Now, after seizing the opportunity, Ice Dragon immediately scooped up benefits for Shiyu. The Golden Dragon was silent. Facing Shiyu and Buggy's burning gazes, they fell silent. Then, it gritted its teeth. I didn't say it. The straightforward Golden Dragon Prince didn't fall for this. It was mainly because it didn't have the guts to decide for its father. However, in order to let Shiyu and the others fight with all their might, the Golden Dragon Prince still added. It's not impossible for me to help, but you have to win my recognition. It's a deal. It was unknown what switch the Golden Dragon Prince had touched. In the next moment, the Green Dragon and Xiyu put away their perfunctory attitude. The Golden Dragon Prince was shocked. Then, his gaze became unfriendly. Roar! The Golden Dragon Prince roared, and golden light flickered all over its body. It directly used its transcendent super skill, Golden Dragon 9 Revolutions. Boom! The huge golden divine dragon circled in the sky for an instant. Then, the sun in the sky burned even more fiercely. When the sunlight shone on the dragon scale, it turned into a golden beam of light with a bang, sweeping up the dragon might that filled the sky and hit the green dragon. Golden rainbow-piercing sun. Buzz! In the face of the golden beam, the green-gold psychic fluctuations that filled the sky appeared out of thin air like a tide on the path of the Golden Dragon Prince's attack. They changed qualitatively into the nature of water, wanting to turn into a huge net to slow down the Golden Dragon Prince's attack, using softness to counter hardness. However, the Golden Dragon Prince's body didn't stop at all. It instantly penetrated a huge hole in the psychic tide. The hot golden light instantly evaporated the psychic tide and rose. Roar! Seeing this, Buggy roared. The power of the green dragon filled the world. It stretched out its dragon claw and slapped at the golden light. The pure golden light immediately squeezed and collided with the green-gold light. Boom! In the dazzling light, the figure of the Golden Dragon Prince couldn't be seen clearly. Buggy's green dragon divine claw pressed against the golden light. The deterrents that intertwined and wrapped around each other instantly tore apart the clouds in the sky, causing countless cracks to appear on the ground of the island, and even making the endless waves tremble. Seeing this, the ice dragon immediately froze the sea to prevent the aftermath from sweeping up a tsunami. Wootilda the little white dragon was also shocked. It enjoyed watching others fight. What strong power! At the same time, after the collision, the Golden Dragon Prince was shocked to see that not only was the other party not penetrated by his golden rainbow penetrating the sun, but it also blocked him with a claw. He couldn't believe that this was the power of an overlord. In the huge roar, under the deterrence, the Golden Dragon Prince actually felt his bloodline body tremble. It's all right. Shiyu's voice came from the strong wind in the distance. Super physique skill, Green Dragon indestructible body. Multiple skills, mainly the Green Dragon Roar and Dragon raising its head, fused together, completely transforming Buggy's physique into the Green Dragon divine body. Its longing would transform into super psychic power. Its roar would make a god tremble. Its body had extremely strong self-healing abilities. Its dragon eyes could see through all weaknesses. Apart from that, it could multiply at will and mobilize the power of faith to forge an immortal body. That's all. In the shocking collision, the Golden Dragon Prince roared. After the energy flowed around his body, his stats increased greatly, and he erupted with an extremely strong power, instantly shattering the green-gold light. The golden rainbow instantly burned the Green Dragon divine claw of the Green Dragon Buggy pitch black. With a crack, it broke, making half of Buggy's claw disappear. Roar! Buggy was angry. Then, just as the golden rainbow was about to penetrate Buggy's body, spatial ripples flashed, and Buggy instantly disappeared in front of the Golden Dragon Prince. Buzz! Buggy's figure appeared higher in the sky. It didn't have time to look at its half-clawed hand. Instead, it quickly looked at the golden rainbow that refracted like light. Boom! Buggy immediately entered a concealed state, but the Golden Dragon Prince's attack was already enough to distort space. With a bang, its hidden body distorted and penetrated a large wound, forcing Buggy to leave the range of the attack through instant transmission again to avoid being heavily injured by the 100-meter-long golden rainbow. Swoosh! Buggy's figure appeared again, but the Golden Dragon Prince's attack became more and more fierce. Strength, speed, and energy stats continued to increase. The power of the spatial distortion became stronger and stronger, blocking Buggy's teleportation speed. This time, before Buggy could react, the golden rainbow that intertwined in the sky directly hit Buggy's body and smashed towards the island ground. The 100-meter-long golden light looked like a meteor with the green divine dragon. At the same time, the previous hot attack seemed to be accompanied by frost this time. The cold air that filled the sky dyed a layer of ice clouds, continuing to freeze Buggy. Chapter 1035, 1035 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 3. 1035 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 3. It's the Golden Dragon 9 Revolutions. The little white dragon was shocked and said, "It looks like the increase is even greater. Looks like it relied on this move to advance to the totem level. A skill that can continuously increase your strength?" Shiyu frowned when he saw Buggy being suppressed. Boom! As Buggy was penetrated by the Golden Dragon Prince to the ground, a 1,000-meter-wide pit appeared on the entire island. Right on the heels of that, the island began to crack in all directions. After succeeding in one hit, the Golden Dragon Prince excitedly turned into golden light again. Its body appeared in the sky and looked down at the green dragon in the huge pit below. Moreover, its aura was still increasing. Golden Dragon 9 Revolutions. Every time the energy flowed in his body, it could increase his strength in all aspects. He could also obtain an elemental enchantment that could mobilize the power of nature. It could increase at most 9 times. As for the Golden Dragon Crown Prince, who had trained the Golden Dragon 9 Revolutions to Transcendent, he could already reach the Golden Dragon 10 Revolutions. After the 10 Revolutions, he could fight top-notch totems. You're not my match. It's better to use the Faith skill. The Golden Dragon Prince circled in the sky, but in the next moment, its pupils constricted. In the huge pit, the injured green dragon Buggy flew up without any ripples in its dragon eyes. During the process of flying up, the injuries all over its body quickly healed themselves in less than 2 seconds. The green dragon claw that the Golden Dragon Prince was heavily injured at the start had long recovered to its original state without a trace of injury. When Buggy completely flew up, there were no longer any injuries on its body. It was no different from before the battle. Impossible! The Golden Dragon Prince was shocked when it saw this. It could sense that it had clearly heavily injured its opponent, but why even its aura didn't weaken much? Holy shit! Ice Dragon and the little white dragon also exclaimed. What was going on? They had only seen the meteorite insta-kill in the World Tournament, but they didn't expect Buggy's other abilities to be so terrifying. Roar! I acknowledge you. At that moment, after Buggy flew up, it looked at the Golden Dragon Prince solemnly. The last person who could use such a fierce attack to defeat it so badly was its leader. However, because of the existence of the green dragon indestructible body, it wasn't that easy to defeat. A heavy injury of this level could be recovered in an instant. This was not restoration with the power of faith, but the self-healing ability of the pure green dragon indestructible body. It was a dazzling sublimation after high-speed healing combined with the green dragon physique. If the enemy couldn't insta-kill it, they could only fight a battle of attrition. If it really used the power of faith, even if it was on the verge of death, it could instantly revive. Even if it was really dead, it could use faith in rebirth and be immortal. Unless it was at the level of a demigod, it was very difficult to defeat and exhaust Buggy's strength. Continue. The Golden Dragon didn't believe it. As its stats rose steadily, a golden light ball directly condensed in its mouth, and a terrifying energy wave instantly sealed the space. Boom! The Golden Dragon Prince was determined to win this attack. However, after knowing that the power of the Golden Dragon would continue to become stronger because of the Golden Dragon's 9 revolutions, Shiyu and Buggy couldn't sit still and watch it steadily become stronger. Buggy, for holy clones. Suppress its power and don't give it a chance to become stronger. Shiyu said. Skill? Super, Imagination Domain, Perfect Plus, Dragon of Imagination, Perfect Plus, Dragon Star Group, Perfect Plus, Queen Mother's Power, Perfect Plus, Space Control, Perfect Plus, Green Dragon Indestructible Body, Perfect Plus, for Holy Clones, Perfect Plus, Dream Control, a Perfect Plus. Dream Control, Queen Mother Power, Space Control, for Holy Clones, Green Dragon Indestructible Body. These were all new skills fused by Buggy. Each stronger than the other. It was so powerful that the Golden Dragon Prince was very shocked and stunned. It was so powerful that even without the power of faith and without borrowing other powers, Shiyu was confident that Buggy could fight the totem-level Golden Dragon Prince. The direction of the Golden Pillar of Light's attack was clearly sealed by the Golden Dragon Prince, but Buggy's figure was like a mirage, quickly blurry and distorted. Almost instantly, the sky darkened. No, it seemed like everyone was dragged into another world. Under the dazzling stars, the Golden Dragon Prince was stunned. This was the starry sky? Roar! When the Golden Dragon Prince reacted, the target of the Golden Pillar of Light was no longer the green dragon Divine Dragon, but the huge black-striped white tiger covered in snow. The island under its feet had already disappeared, disappearing for no reason and turning into a star. Standing on this star that contained rich metal power, the white tiger opened its mouth. Its mouth seemed to contain a black hole as it directly swallowed the Golden Pillar of Light. The aftermath that filled the sky swept across, completely stunning the Golden Dragon Prince and stunning the Ice Dragon and the Little White Dragon. When they reacted, they strangely discovered that not only had the ground changed, but the surroundings had also changed. They were indeed in the starry sky. It wasn't just this star and the huge white tiger that appeared. There were also new gods born in other directions. On a red star, a divine bird with the appearance of a bird and shocking flames burning on its body stared at the Golden Dragon Prince with burning eyes, and the stars around it were ignited. On a black star, a huge black turtle was lying there. A huge green snake was wrapped around its body. Under the deep gaze of both parties, the Golden Dragon Prince immediately fell to chill. Chapter 1036, 1036 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 4. 1036 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 4. At this moment, the Golden Dragon Prince's original target, the Green Dragon Buggy, was already circling on another star in the starry sky, staring at the Golden Dragon Prince from a higher altitude. Seeing this, the Golden Dragon Prince's pupils constricted, unable to understand. For four holy beasts: White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, Green Dragon. The four holy beasts had all appeared. Illusion is still an illusion. Under the Golden Dragon Prince's roar, he directly erupted with energy and tried to break free from the illusion, but he failed. He even sensed in panic that his strength was strongly suppressed under their gaze. What skill is this? The Golden Dragon Prince was confused. In the next moment, the four spirits of heaven in four directions attacked together and locked onto the Golden Dragon Prince in the center. Just now, it was the Golden Dragon Prince who pursued the victory. In the blink of an eye, the situation reversed, and it was attacked from both sides. This is the four holy clones, Shiyu said. This was a top-notch super skill fused with the anti-demon domain, for symbol star formation, and illusory phantom as the core. Because of the speciality of the Green Dragon indestructible body and illusory phantom, this skill could even strengthen the phantom clone with the faith equipment of the White Tiger, Black Tortoise, and Vermilion Bird. It could be said to be the greatest gain from the fusion of the skills on Buggy. In fact, Shiyu even had the thought of the second team nurturing a Black Tortoise and a White Tiger. Of course, they didn't have to use faith equipment to fight the Golden Dragon Prince now. Just the combination skill of the imagination domain and the four symbols clones could display huge power. When all the four symbols clones were present, the power of each of the four symbols received a legendary increase, equivalent to the main body. It also formed an army skill. It was a move that consumed a lot of energy and could also mobilize the power of the starry sky. At the same time, under the pressure of the four saints, the enemy's power was greatly suppressed. All natural power and void power were forbidden to be used. Roar! The White Tiger moved. It first formed a pair of white wings and headed towards the Golden Dragon Prince. It slapped out with its tiger palm. Boundless metal element power and murderous aura instantly made the Golden Dragon Prince feel that it was unbelievable. He felt that this guy was even stronger than the Green Dragon's main body at the start. No, it wasn't that it was too strong, but that it had become weaker. The power increased by the Golden Dragon 9 revolutions instantly fell to the bottom under the suppression of the four saint domains. Boom! The dragon and tiger fought, and the tiger palm and dragon claws collided. The two parties were in a stalemate. The Golden Dragon Prince curled up his dragon tail and slapped at the White Tiger. The White Tiger also opened its huge mouth and directly attacked the dragon tail. Under the sharp metal teeth, the dragon scales cracked and dragon blood spewed out. Roar! The Golden Dragon Prince screamed in anger. Was this a white tiger? What kind of creation god white tiger bit people randomly? Holy shit! Seeing this, the little white dragon was shocked again. What skill was this? So handsome, so handsome. Is this also a green dragon faith skill? Ice Dragon was also shocked. It thought that the meteorite was the only faith skill. This was also so strong. As expected, just as it had expected, even the eldest prince was definitely not a match for abnormal Xiaoyu. The dragon god had sent it here to watch over Xiaoyu and not let him kill the eldest prince. However, why did this white tiger look so familiar? What they didn't know was that this was a white tiger created by Buggy with the gem cat as its prototype. It had very good teeth. In the pain of biting, the Golden Dragon Prince was shocked and felt another heat wave attack. It suddenly turned around and saw a huge divine bird that swept up flames, spreading wings of fire, slashing at it. Yes. It was slashing over. This guy was using its wings as a sword. What the hell? These are the four holy beasts. Flames spread on the wings, forming a fire blade. The Golden Dragon Prince, who was in a stalemate with the white tiger, couldn't resist immediately. Jew! Under the high cry of the vermilion bird slashed onto the Golden Dragon Prince's body, making it let out a painful cry again. Roar! It was immediately struck from the sky and smashed towards the black tortoise. What made the Golden Dragon Prince's pupils shrink even more was that the green dragon also leaped up and flew in front of it during the process of flying backward. Combination profundity, finishing touch. Buggy's gaze flickered, and the dragon-shaped fluctuations around its body enlarged. Soon, it became a 10,000-meter-long green dragon. The huge phantom turned into a green-gold light that collided with the Golden Dragon Prince. With a bang, it was Buggy's turn to penetrate the Golden Dragon Prince. Roar! Under the intense pain, what the Golden Dragon Prince couldn't understand was that during the process of being attacked, its life and energy were continuously absorbed. This green dragon was like a worm, and it could also suck blood and energy. This skill really stunned the Golden Dragon Prince, and what stunned it even more was the image of the four saints. Buggy, I'm Buggy. The Golden Dragon Prince's expression stiffened. Xiaoyu also said, who said this is a faith skill? The power of faith hasn't been mobilized yet. As for a faith skill, its power is several times this. The Golden Dragon Prince refused to believe it. Boom! Under the joint attack of the green dragon and the black tortoise, the Golden Dragon Prince was immediately smashed into the depths of the starry sky with the shattering of the stars. It had to be said that the Golden Dragon Prince was strong enough, as this couldn't defeat it. It was just that its injuries were similar to Buggy from before. It floated in the starry sky domain broken, its dragon eyes staring intently at the four saints in front of it. Chapter 1037, 1037 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 5. 1037 The Four Holy Beasts Descend, 5. You're telling me this isn't a faith skill? The Golden Dragon Prince didn't believe it at all. The four holy clones were all out. Wasn't this a faith skill? Its transcendent super skill was even suppressed. These clones all had extremely strong strength like the main body. If this wasn't a faith skill, what was? If not, how could it be so strong? It doesn't seem to be. I don't see any power of faith, the little white dragon shouted. Indeed, there are no fluctuations of power of faith. Ice Dragon was also quite shocked at this moment. It suddenly realized that the four holy clones weren't faith skills. It was actually a pure and incomparably powerful super phantom type skill. No, there was even the effect of an army skill and a domain skill. The Golden Dragon Prince's expression stiffened again, and it was a little silent. Indeed, it didn't sense the power of faith either. The manifestations of power such as faith, nature, space, and elemental were still different. Big Brother Golden Dragon, charge! At this moment, the little white dragon crazily cheered and said, Senior Shiyu's extraordinary power and beast-taming talent have yet to be used, as is Senior Buggy's faith skill. Stop warming up. Hurry up and show your full strength to fight Senior Shiyu seriously. Don't worry, Senior Shiyu will definitely work hard to obtain your recognition. The little white dragon continued to shout, making the Golden Dragon Prince's expression become more and more stiff. Mother **K. How could it not tell that the little white dragon was fanning the flames? It was clearly already fighting very seriously. However, the little white dragon's words made the Golden Dragon Prince's expression turn pale. He had yet to use his extraordinary power, beast-taming talent, and faith skills. It naturally knew what these were. So, was the other party really warming up now? To be honest, the Golden Dragon Prince regretted leaving Dragon Palace City at this moment. He regretted even more that he had said that as long as he won its recognition, he would help Shiyu and the others promote the Green Dragon faith in Dragon Palace City. At this moment, the Golden Dragon Prince was in a dilemma. Monster. This was the Overlord level? Is that all? However, its pride as the eldest prince of Dragon Palace City didn't allow it to admit defeat just like that. Watch me tear you apart one by one. The Golden Dragon Prince roared and attacked the Green Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise that were staring at it again. White, red, black, and green pillars of light locked onto the Golden Dragon Prince. In an instant, the berserking surging pillar of light swallowed the Golden Dragon Prince's figure. The light first compressed and focused, then light bloomed like the explosion of the sun. Boom! The Golden Dragon Prince was directly devoured by the 4 holy punishments. A shocking scream immediately penetrated space and spread throughout the East Sea. Holy shit! As the Ice Dragon and the Little White Dragon cried, the frozen sea also shattered, and gusts swept out. At the Environmental Protection Department base, the new recruits who had returned to their training state were stunned when they sensed the gust that suddenly blew over and the screams that sounded a little like the Golden Dragon Prince coming from afar. They looked into the distance with stunned expressions. The battle finally ended in the Golden Dragon Prince's defeat. It directly fainted and lost consciousness. Buggy was exhausted beside it and cursed this Golden Dragon for being too resistant to beatings. With the strength of the Golden Dragon Prince, which was close to a top-notch totem, without paying money, also known as using the power of faith, Buggy was almost exhausted after defeating it. However, in order to show off, Buggy still pretended not to use much strength and watched the Golden Dragon land. As for it, it casually turned into a little green dragon and flew into Shiyu's pocket. After the battle was completed, the Little White Dragon and the Ice Dragon gulped. They didn't expect the Golden Dragon Prince to lose just like that. They really didn't expect that in the end, the eldest prince actually didn't force out some of Shiyu's trump cards such as extraordinary power, beast-taming talent, and faith skills. They originally thought that even if Shiyu could win, he would have to spend a lot of power of faith. Say, His Highness the Crown Prince should keep his promise and help promote the Green Dragon faith in Dragon Palace City, right? Shiyu muttered. A battle couldn't be fought for nothing. Senior Shiyu is impressive, awesome, Senior Buggy is impressive, awesome. Don't worry, if Big Brother Golden Dragon doesn't keep his promise, I'll go to the Dragon Palace to spread it everywhere that it doesn't keep its word. The Little White Dragon immediately took sides. Little White Dragon, don't be naughty. Shiyu looked at it with a smile. He felt that the Little White Dragon was becoming more and more sensible. Was this growth? Kid, you guys are much stronger than during the world competition again. At this moment, Ice Dragon was also shocked at the side. Not only had Shiyu broken through to the legend level, but Buggy was definitely much stronger than during the world competition. It was certain that Shiyu's current strength had already exceeded Mu Huiyin. Yeah, it's not just Buggy and me. Kai Tong has also become much stronger. Its improvement is even greater than Buggy. Mother Dragon, do you want to test Kai Tong? Shiyu said casually. Kai Tong had improved so much. Its growth also had to be shared with its elders. Really? Ice Dragon was delighted. Among Shiyu's pets, it definitely liked and cared more about Kai Tong. No problem, Ice Dragon laughed. It was just about to say that there was no problem, but the cold air that appeared on its back previously appeared again, making Ice Dragon's expression stiffen. He had a bad feeling. Its evolution this time had awakened a dangerous perception time element skill. At this moment, Ice Dragon, who was just about to say that there was no problem, felt that this skill was unprecedentedly excited. Skill, run! That sword isn't a good daughter. Thump! Ice Dragon seemed to have seen the scene of itself lying in the Dragon Palace with serious injuries. Its gaze exploded as it looked at Xiaoyu and said, "No, no, no, who would want to? Wait, with your strength, you should be able to find that undying Dark Phoenix, right? How about I accompany you to test it?" Chapter 1038 Senior Lu's Arrival. 1038 Senior Lu's Arrival. Who? Seeing Ice Dragon, who had originally agreed, suddenly change its expression, Xiaoyu was completely stunned. Why did it go back on his word? Moreover, it even circled around so much and let the undying Dark Phoenix take the beating in its place. Although Xiaoyu and Ice Dragon had indeed made an agreement to kill the Dark Phoenix together. Senior Ice Dragon, Senior Xiaoyu. At this moment, when the little white dragon saw that Xiaoyu and Ice Dragon were chatting happily, it couldn't help but say, "Aren't you going to care about Big Brother Golden Dragon? It's about to sink to the bottom of the sea." Woo! It's all right, it can't die. In Xiaoyu's pocket, Buggy, who was being treated by Baby Ginseng, popped its head out. Its psychic power extended infinitely and entered the ocean. Then, it pulled the golden dragon crown prince that had sunk into the sea up and placed it on the floating island. Woo! Understood. Seeing the miserable state of the golden dragon prince, the little white dragon nodded. After treating Buggy, Xiaoyu sent Baby Ginseng's clone to jump down and treat the golden dragon prince slightly. "Aren't we fighting?" At the same time, Xiaoyu scratched his cheek and looked at Ice Dragon. Could it be that the Ice Dragon was afraid? Heh. Ice Dragon looked at Xiaoyu and said, "Tell me, between Kai Tong's current strength and Buggy in your pocket, who's stronger?" Ah. Xiaoyu was stunned and looked at Buggy. "This? Almost as strong?" Xiaoyu said. Ice Dragon took a step back, its eyes constricted, and the corners of its mouth twitched. Damn it, was this appropriate? Why didn't it know that its beast tamer's heroic spirit could compete in strength with the green dragon god? Even if Mu Huiyin was reborn, she wouldn't dare to say that she was about as strong as that green dragon. In Xiaoyu's pocket, Buggy also pouted. How could this be? It had clearly never fought before, so why was it almost strong? It was definitely stronger. After obtaining the information from Xiaoyu, Ice Dragon was completely convinced that this battle shouldn't be fought. Is it the effect of the World Tree's blessing? Ice Dragon thought. It quickly changed the topic and said, "So, when are you preparing to meet that guy who calls itself Kai Tong's biological mother?" Xiaoyu said, "In a few months, I still feel that it's unstable. After all, the undying Dark Phoenix might have demigod battle power at its peak. Who knows if it has any backup plans? Moreover, before the operation, we have to get Dong Huang to cooperate. After all, it's too close to the city, and it's not easy to stretch. After applying for a process, the procedures will definitely be long and smelly. At the moment, the sea cleansing spirit Susu had accumulated could already cleanse the negative power of a top-notch totem level, but it was still a little short of the demigod level. HMPH, Ice Dragon said. It has already died once and been sealed for so long. It's not bad to have the strength of a normal totem. Call me when you're ready. I want to see if it's Mu Huiyin's biological mother or not. It made Mu Huiyin suffer so much. I have to teach it a lesson. At that time, I'll go with Kai Tong." Ice Dragon was extremely serious. Xiaoyu looked at Ice Dragon suspiciously, suspecting that this guy was changing the topic. Cough, cough, roar. At this moment, under the crazy healing of Baby Ginseng's clone, the golden dragon prince quickly recovered its consciousness. It suddenly widened its dragon eyes and breathed quickly. "You're awake." In the sky, the little white dragon eating melons looked at the golden dragon prince and said. The golden dragon prince looked at the sky with a complicated expression. Green dragon. At this moment, the golden dragon prince couldn't accept that it had been defeated without even seeing the green dragon's faith skill. It only wanted to become stronger and think of ways to become stronger. This it hasn't decided if it's going to help promote the Green Dragon Festival. Shiyu realized that the Golden Dragon Prince was indeed resistant to beatings. His speed of leaving was even faster than when he attacked Buggy. He didn't look injured at all. He clearly looked like he was running away. This ice dragon also fell into deep thought and said, "It's not a big problem. It can't escape. I'll talk to its father about this now. I've also delivered Lord Dragon God's things. Shiyu, I'm busy with quests over there. I'll leave first. Tell Kai Tong to work hard." Shiyu? In the blink of an eye, the ice dragon also let out a long roar and followed the golden dragon prince, leaving behind the stunned Shiyu and the little white dragon. What's going on? Shiyu fell into deep thought. Then, he looked at the little white dragon and said, "Little white dragon, do you want to come to my place to sit? By the way, my 2 second team pets are also at the monarch level." The little white dragon. The second team, monarch level? Could it be that they wanted it to be their sparring partner? Could it be the duck reincarnated abyss demon god? The little white dragon's pupils constricted. What a joke! That was an abyss demigod. It immediately said, no, I'll help Senior Ice Dragon. I'll supervise Big Brother Golden Dragon. Goodbye, Senior Shiyu. With that said, it also slipped away at an extremely fast speed, making Shiyu, Buggy, and Baby Ginseng look at each other. Seeing the 3 Dragon Palace city members who arrived excitedly at the start leave like they were dodging a plague, Baby Ginseng couldn't help but say, "Yee. Beast Tamer, do you know how to socialize?" He scared the dragons. Why were they fighting all the time? Mother Dragon and the little white dragon, these 2 big hooligans, clearly didn't like to fight. There's no hope. Shiyu shrugged and said, "The mythical era is coming soon. I still don't know how to quickly increase my strength. Forget it, let's go back." Shiyu put away the new dragon god protection and stretched, letting Buggy bring him back to Ping Cheng. Chapter 1039 Senior Lu's Arrival, 2. 1039 Senior Lu's Arrival, 2. After returning, Shiyu informed Susu and Ling to prepare for Little G and Ducky's fusion and evolution. Previously, he had promised Little G, Ducky, and the others to fuse divine-level resources when the Heavenly Sword Nation quest was done. It was time to fulfill his promise. However, with their current growth level, it would probably be difficult to complete the fusion of power without half a month. As for Shiyu, he naturally listened to Ling's suggestion and rested. He planned to hold a new team meeting after he recovered and Little G and Ducky completed their evolution. Then, he would head to the Spacetime Dragon Vein to train in a new and best team state. In the past half a month, should I meditate and rest, or Shiyu thought about the content of his conversation with President Lin, but soon, a call made a decision for Shiyu. Senior Lu. Shiyu smiled and picked up the call. Then, he waited for Senior Lu's arrival. That day. Roar Tilda! With a roar, it roared in front of the door of Shiyu's villa. A dog-type creature with fluffy white hair and dignified blue eyes, its neck, limbs, body, and long tail were surrounded by black cloud patterns. It was especially domineering. It stood beside a beautiful woman in a blue and black battlesuit and knocked on the door for her. "Coming, coming!" Upon hearing the Wind Demon Lion's cry, Shiyu walked out of the door and welcomed Senior Lu and the others. "Sorry, I encountered a wanted criminal on the way over. I took care of it and wasted some time," Senior Lu said with a smile when she saw Shiyu. "The big dog has made a contribution again." Shiyu looked at the Wind Demon Lion. Because it had obtained the evil-suppressing lion inheritance, Senior Lu, this big dog, had the ability to sense evil thoughts. Therefore, during Senior Lu's archaeology, she would be lucky enough to make a contribution and catch bad people one by one. Roar! The Wind Demon Lion chuckled. This familiar configuration reminds me of the first time we met. Shiyu smiled and looked at the beautiful Senior Lu. Back then, Senior, you brought the Wind Demon Lion to my place. Yeah. Lu Qingyi smiled and said, who knew that I would find a world legend? I can't fall behind either. I came this time to show you my new ability. Senior, you really succeeded, Shiyu asked. Yes. Lu Qingyi nodded and said, but unlike your mind domain, it's in another direction. After Shiyu awakened his body control talent 3 months ago, he gave the talent bead to Senior Lu to develop her beast taming talent. And Senior Lu's call just now was to tell Shiyu that she had finally succeeded in developing it. It also developed telepathy into a battle-type ability. In the courtyard, Shiyu and Lu Qingyi looked at each other. Lu Qingyi said, I named it Psychic Resonance. It's an ability that's a little more scientific than your mind domain. Ah. If during the battle, my pet's emotions, heart, and resistance can be in a harmonious coherent state, we can activate the ability of mental resonance. In the situation of psychic resonance, be it my various stats or my pet's various stats, they will receive a very good increase. Of course, the consumption is slightly greater than normal strengthening talent. It can roughly be seen as the use of spiritual and emotional power. At the same time, Lu Qingyi's aura beside it also changed completely. Just now, she was still a gentle senior. At this moment, she was like a valiant policewoman. Her eyes revealed a firm will and her face was filled with righteousness. Under her gaze, Shiyu couldn't help but feel guilty, like a child who had done something wrong had encountered a police officer. Buzz. Because they both had the mental characteristic of hating evil at this moment, Lu Qingyi and the Wind Demon Lion completed a perfect mental resonance. Shiyu could sense that Senior Lu's mental strength and the Wind Demon Lion's various strengths were quickly increasing. Shiyu opened his mouth slightly. He had already seen the energy value of the Overlord-level Wind Demon Lion increase to 82 million. He felt that it was extremely unbelievable. After all, the current Wind Demon Lion had yet to activate Mythical Revival. A moment later, Lu Qingyi and the Wind Demon Lion state stabilized. Senior Lu recovered her smile and the corners of her mouth subconsciously curled up. How is it? It can also resonate with other pets? Of course. For example, my Empress flower, by the way, it's my Imperial Concubine flower. It evolved. It's different from the Wind Demon Lion. Its mental characteristics and personality characteristics are that it has a proud heart. If I can adjust my mental emotions and understand its personality, I can also complete the coherence with it and undergo a mental resonance state. But this is relatively difficult to do, Senior Lu said with a helpless smile. It was fine to make her hate evil, but to make her as arrogant as an Empress flower, she had tried many times, but she had only succeeded a few times. Shiyu couldn't help but say, this telepathy resonance is even more popular than the telepathy domain for many beast tamers with telepathy talent. Senior, you're better than me. I definitely can't do it without you. Lu Qingyi smiled and said, I've already summarized my experience and sent it to you. Let's study it together? Chapter 1040, 1040 Senior Lu's Arrival, 3. 1040 Senior Lu's Arrival, 3. If you can learn it, you'll definitely do better than me. All right. Shiyu smiled and said, but my current state is a little poor. Ling doesn't allow me to use my talent and extraordinary power too much. I'll talk about it in the future, but I can assist Senior in developing it deeper. What's wrong with you again? Senior Lu looked at Shiyu and said with concern, don't tense yourself up too much. It's fine to relax a little. It was an accident, Shiyu said in embarrassment. He was already lazing around. It was purely a cheat. Senior, mind resonance, mythical revival, multiple eruptions. Can your pet's energy level exceed 100 million? Shiyu asked. It's still a little difficult now. It shouldn't be a problem to train again, Shiyu said in surprise. I feel that after cultivating for a while, Senior, you can also have the strength to challenge its title, right? It's still very far. Senior Lu waved her hand and said, but if there's a chance, I really want to challenge the title of a surpasser. You already have the title of World Legend. You probably won't snatch it from me, right? Lu Qingyi smiled. The title of surpasser was one of the titles issued by the Seven Nation Alliance. It was specially prepared for beast tamers with a telepathy talent. This was because telepathy didn't have the effect of increasing battle power. Up until now, no beast tamer with a telepathy talent had obtained title battle power, which was totem battle power. This title had naturally been vacant for a long time. Shiyu had clearly fulfilled the conditions previously. However, he had already obtained the World Legend title in advance, so he naturally ignored the title of surpasser. A beast tamer shouldn't be able to obtain two titles, right? Shiyu scratched his cheek. A title issued by the Seven Nation Alliance didn't seem to have any substantial rewards apart from the honor bonus. Otherwise, he felt that the Alliance still owed him the title of Dragon King. The Dragon King title required him to control a Dragon-type pet to fight a Dragon-type totem for a day and night. This was the lowest standard, and he had already controlled a Dragon-type pet to destroy a Dragon-type totem and defeat a Dragon-type totem. It should be given to him. This was how it was easy to make a certain young man named Yushu lose his dream. There's indeed no precedent. Lu Qingyi smiled and said, why, do you still want to try? Or do you have a dream series to give every pet a title? Forget it. Shiyu smiled and said, I don't have the energy. Senior, stay with me for a period of time. I happen to have a resource that can allow your strength to increase pretty well in a short period of time. When the time comes, let's see the increase in effect. Perhaps you can challenge the title of surpasser soon. No, in half a month, go and challenge it and see how big the difference is. Ooh? Lu Qingyi was stunned. She felt that Shiyu was kidding. Unless it was a mythical resource, why would she have titled battle power in half a month? At the moment, there were only 9 beast tamers with titles in the entire Donghuang. This included Shiyu, a new titled legend. After the world tournament ended, Yixing went to challenge the title of Battle Pet Warrior. He had already challenged it twice and had yet to succeed. I'm just trying out the difference. Senior, don't tell me you think you can resist a totem in half a month. Shiyu asked with a smile. What's wrong with that? If it's your special training, it might really be possible. Lu Qingyi smiled. His so-called resources were actually baby ginseng's perfect level world tree fruit and the new cultivation materials developed after the fusion skill. Coincidentally, Senior Lu had developed a new use of telepathy. Shiyu was also more curious about how far she could develop with this resource. That day, President Lin received Lu Qingyi's application. She applied to challenge the title of surpasser half a month later. He could not help but fall into deep thought. The title of titled legend was certified and issued by the Alliance of the Seven Nation Alliance. The various countries only applied for the challenge and didn't have the right to do the assessment. What exactly are Lu Qingyi and Shiyu trying to do? President Lin fell into deep thought. He had already learned that Lu Qingyi was undergoing special training with Shiyu. The title of surpasser required a beast tamer with a telepathy talent. When the 7 pets, including the beast tamer, fought with all their members, it was a draw with a totem-level life form. Compared to titles like the Dragon King and the World Legend, it wasn't difficult to obtain them in terms of requirements, but the difficulty was that the battle power of a beast tamer with a telepathy talent was inferior to challengers with other titles. Forget it. President Lin thought for a moment and still applied for Lu Qingyi. The number of applications every year from every country's association was limited. After all, he was letting the Totem Guardian of the Alliance be the examiner. However, no one else from Donghuang wanted to take the assessment anyway. It was fine to keep the opportunity, but it was the same to use it. I wonder when Shiyu can become a legendary. Don't delay his cultivation because of love. President Lin, who had wanted Shiyu to have a child quickly, jumped up again. Because he had received news not long ago that Shenfeng had a new legendary beast tamer. The world tournament was held a total of 4 times. In the first year, Lin Feng of Donghuang was the champion. In the second year, the Beast Tamer of Snowfield was the champion. In the year more than 20 years ago, the Shenfeng Beast Tamer was the champion. The champion of every world tournament actually had legendary potential, but unfortunately, apart from Lin Feng, the next two championships weren't very awesome and exciting. The world legend of Snowfield was directly assassinated and died by the Totem faction not long after the world tournament. The world legend of Shenfeng was a biological modification type mechanic, but because of an experiment failure, a few contracted pets died, preventing him from advancing as quickly as Lin Feng. There had been no news for a long time. Who knew that recently, there was news from Shenfeng that this world legend had also become a legendary mechanic? One country, two legendaries, and one demigod. Shenfeng vaguely showed signs of becoming the #1 country. This made President Lin extremely envious. He only hoped that Xiyu could be faster. Otherwise, Shenfeng would probably snatch more right to speak in the next Blue Planet Alliance.